Good afternoon, everyone. The Sacramento City Council will please come to order. Would the clerk please call the roll to establish a quorum?
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Kaplan. We'll come back to Kaplan. Councilmember Laloy. Here. Councilmember Talamantes. Here. Councilmember Valenzuela.
Here.
Councilmember Maple.
Here.
Vice Mayor Guerra.
Here.
Councilmember Jennings.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Vang.
I am here.
Councilmember Kaplan.
Here.
And Mayor Steinberg.
I am here. Mayor Pro Tem Vang, would you please lead us in the land acknowledgement, and I'll be happy to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Absolutely. Please rise for the opening acknowledgement in honor of Sacramento indigenous people and tribal lands. To the original people of this land, the Nisenan people, the Southern Maidu, Valley and Plains Miwok, Putwin and Wintu peoples, and the people of Wilton Rancheria, Sacramento's only federally recognized tribe. May we acknowledge and honor the Native people who came before us and still walk beside us today on these ancestral lands by choosing to gather today in the active practice of acknowledgement and appreciation for Sacramento indigenous peoples, histories, contributions, and lives.
Thank you. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, good afternoon to everyone, to my colleagues, to the city staff, most importantly, the members of the public that are here in the chambers and watching at home on television or live stream or however people watch these meetings these days. We anticipate having a lengthy agenda tonight with a lot of important items. We begin with the consent calendar.
And Mayor, Councilmember Valenzuela is participating remotely. Just wanted to acknowledge her and see if she has any comments.
Councilmember Valenzuela.
Thank you. Staying home out of an abundance of caution from a positive COVID test, but here in spirit.
Right, and here, more than here in spirit, here to participate as is allowed under our rules, and we hope you feel better soon. Let us begin with the consent calendar and ask the members whether there are any items that they would like to be discussed separately or voted on separately or have comments on.
And Mayor, I'd like to read to the record that I believe we would like to continue items 9 and 21, which was requested by Vice Mayor Guerra.
Okay. That will then be part of the motion when we seek to approve the consent calendar. Vice Mayor Guerra, beyond those couple of items?
Other than that, Mr. Mayor, I'll move to approve the consent calendar unless there are other things that need to be pulled from the consent calendar.
Well, why don't we wait for a moment on the motion so that we can see what might be taken up separately. Councilmember Talamantes?
Comment on item 13.
13. Very good. Councilmember Kaplan?
Comment briefly on item 23 and 48.
23 and 48. Just give me just a moment here, please. Thank you. Councilmember Jennings.
Comment on item 11.
Councilmember Laloy.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to pull item 51 to be voted on separately, and I've asked the staff to give us a quick presentation on item number 51.
Separate vote and presentation.
Thank you.
Okay, very, very good. Councilmember Valenzuela.
Yes, a comment on item 17, please.
Did you say 17?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. Councilmember Maple.
Quick comment on item 18.
18. All right, let's then go back through. Well, let me ask you, let me ask first, do we have public testimony other than on item number 51 that, are they all item 51?
I do have 3 speakers not on item 51.
Okay, let's hear those from those speakers first, and we'll go back to the members.
Thank you. I have Erica Costa on item 20.
Erica Costa?
And Mac Worthy on items 19, 20, 21, 22, and 27.
Is Erica Costa here? Oh, come on, come right on up. Here you go. Good evening.
Office here in support of item number 20. Just wanted to, on behalf of the Assembly member, thank all of the council members and their staff for working together on this item. Many of these came directly from the council members or their staff, and this has been a good partnership over the last several years. And the Assembly member is happy to be here for the third consecutive year continuing these projects, and just thanks you for your partnership.
Thank you for coming tonight.
Next speaker is Mac Worthy, then Keon Bliss.
Good afternoon, people. We should wait until some antitrust laws is put in place. Every time we turn around, it's a grant. Ever since your mayor was at the legislation, it was a grant. You continue grant the hell out of people. You're not telling people who giving the grants and where those grants are going to be spent and how those grants will be spent. But you don't apply for a grant, and I think it's bleeding the taxpayers to death.
Thank you for your comments. Keon Bliss.
Greetings, City Council. I am here to talk about item 40, which is our meeting calendar for boards, commissions, and committees. The Sacramento Police Review Commission has been, over the years, we used to be able to actually set our own schedule, and for whatever reason, it fell to the council to decide the schedule calendar for all boards and commissions and meetings. I'm here to request that this item, the calendar, be amended for the Sacramento Community Police Review Commission so that we have 11 meetings instead of the usual 10 meetings that we've been getting the last few years, particularly because with it, being that this is the first year that we've been operating under the new ordinance that requires work plan priorities, we've actually haven't been able to get as much work done because we are meeting less. And this came up particularly last night when we were under the impression that when we usually had about 11 meetings or so throughout the year, we learned last night that we are not meeting in December, which we have officially requested a special meeting at our usual time, the second Monday of every month at 6 p.m. so that we can complete this year's business and set ourselves up to be on track for 2024. So with that, I would like to request on behalf of the commission that we provide an additional meeting time within the calendar, at least in December, but minimum 11 meetings for the calendar year 2024. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. I have one speaker online, Legal Connection Network. Are you speaking on the consent calendar, items 1 through 50?
I wanted to make a public comment in general.
Okay, that's at the end of the meeting on matters not on the agenda.
Thank you so much. If you could move me there, that would be great.
Mayor, I have no more speakers on the consent calendar.
All right, thank you. And again, we're going to get to item 51 as a separate item. But let's go back through the consent calendar for members who wanted to speak on specific items. Item 11, Councilmember Jennings.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to take a moment to recognize the completion of the Pocket Greenhaven Neighborhood Transportation Plan. I think at least I know, the Pocket Greenhaven community is a very special place, and my family and I have lived there for 37 years. What I know to be true is that the transportation planning from the past in the Pocket Greenhaven area needed to be updated, and I am pleased to have worked with Active Transportation and my community to bring this plan forward. This plan lays out the traffic safety improvements needed for the area. We did this in a comprehensive way to address the sins of the past, wide streets that lend themselves to speeding with limited traffic calming in support of pedestrians and cyclists. We did not want to look at traffic safety needs in the community in a piecemeal way. We wanted to do it comprehensively. This plan did that. We had robust community feedback, and I want to thank all those who participated. And this was during the height of the pandemic, and they participated openly. And I especially want to thank David, Jennifer, and Leslie for all their hard work on behalf of the Pocket Greenhaven community. That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Councilmember Jennings. That's great. let's see. Councilmember Talamantes on item 13, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to thank city staff and JIBE for working on this project. Connectivity in North Natomas is super important, especially for everyone that wants to bike downtown where many of our jobs are at. So just thank you for this important work and keep it up. Looking forward to seeing progress. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Valenzuela, item 17, please.
Thank you, Mayor. And I could easily comment on a bunch of items, but in the interest of time, commending my colleagues for the great work they're doing, I wanted to highlight item 17, which is funding for an LGBTQ plus historic experience. So you may recall that we just did the African American Experience project, which was incredible. And this really started from a conversation with Sean right after I took office, when I asked what it would take to make the Lavender District potentially a historic district, when we realized, and Sean really helped me understand, that the stories extend way beyond 20th and K, and that maybe a bigger project would be necessary. So I just want to commend Sean and his team for finding funding to take this next step to go into the LGBTQ plus community. Really excited to work with you all on this project, and I hope all of my colleagues will engage. We have great history and deep, rich stories that I'm just really looking forward to hearing preserved. So thank you, Sean, and the whole city team for making this project happen.
It's great. It's really important. Thank you. Councilmember Maple on item 18, please.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I also want to thank staff, and a long line of thanking, but that's because we have an amazing team that really prioritize projects that are important to our city and our communities, and this is one of them. So this is our application for California Natural Resources Agency, the Urban Greening Grant. And this is focused in Sacramento, or in disadvantaged communities. And if accepted, this will allow us to plant trees along Franklin Boulevard during the Complete Streets project, and especially in areas like South City Farms, where there is a serious lack of tree canopy, and that really impacts people's everyday lives, including their ability to cool their homes, and they're paying more for their energy bills, and on and on and on. So this is a part of a much bigger scale of projects that are going on, and just really grateful for our staff for choosing Franklin Boulevard. Thank you.
Great. More investment. Councilmember Kaplan on item 23.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to point out the great work that the Sacramento Family Unity Education and Legal Network for our immigrants and refugees do. Specifically, it's not often said, but this is a lot of pro bono, was created by attorneys in their network in Sacramento, but it also is helping people get their visas and green cards and process the applications and petitions with Violence Against Women Act, as well as temporary protected status and more for our immigrants and especially our refugees who are coming in. So this is definitely a worthy program, and want to thank our legal field for continuing to invest in this.
Very good. Agreed. Vice Mayor Guetta had a lot to do with that, and it's been the city's stuck with this, a very important part of what we do as a city. Absolutely. Thank you. Item 48, Councilmember Kaplan.
Thank you, Mayor. And I just want to call out, this is very exciting. It's moving forward of the creation of the West Shore Park on the west side in a community that got caught in the middle of the flood moratorium. So half of it got built and it was stagnant for about 7 years. It's now been developed and we're infilling and creating the parks in the community. That community's actually been around since 2004, 2005, and some areas haven't had parks. So just want to celebrate the creation of a park.
That's great. Thank you, thank you. All right, Councilmember Vice Mayor Guetta, it would be appropriate to make a motion on the consent calendar with the continuation of items 9 and 21 and not including item 51, which will be taken up separately.
Great, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to make that motion, excluding items 9 and 21, and then we'll take up 51 separately. And also wanted to thank all our city staff that made the largest consent calendar in our history possible for this. So thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you to all our city employees for the work we've done today.
Councilmember Maple has seconded the motion. We must call a roll here because under the rules, since Councilmember Valenzuela is participating remotely, please call the roll.
Thank you. Councilmember Kaplan. Aye. Councilmember Laloy. Aye. Councilmember Talamantes. Aye. Councilmember Valenzuela.
Yes.
Councilmember Maple.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Gatta.
Aye.
Councilmember Jennings.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Vang.
Yes.
And Mayor Steinberg.
Yes. All right. Most of the consent calendar, with the exception of those items, passes. Thank you very much. Now let's go to item 51, which Councilmember Lowy asked to be heard separately. It's really a very positive thing here. And I see some of our former council member Rob Kurth in the audience. Welcome. Let's hear from the city staff on this. And
I think
the council member is going to, are you going to present yourself, Sean? Or?
No, actually,
Got it.
Which way you want to do it? You want to have
actually, I'm going to ask Amanda and Leslie if they can. Thank you very much.
and then I'll have it.
Okay.
Good evening, Council. My name is Amanda Wallace. I'm with the city's Office of Innovation and Economic Development. Iceland Skate Rink is a Del Paso Boulevard landmark that has served the North Sacramento community, particularly Sacramento youth, for more than 80 years. Tonight, staff are asking you to consider two loans, which will beautify Del Paso Boulevard, enable Iceland to serve more residents, and contribute to the corridor's revitalization. The first loan is a $1.2 million forgivable loan that will fund construction of a roof structure over the skating rink, which, until the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, operated outdoors on a seasonal basis. Forgiveness of this loan is conditioned on Iceland meeting annual performance metrics, including maintaining the property in a clean and safe condition, operating the skate rink facility for a minimum of 2,000 hours, serving at least 30,000 skaters, and providing at least 250 skate school scholarships to D2 residents. The second loan is for $125,000, which Iceland will use to restore the building's iconic Art Deco facade. This facade loan is not a forgivable loan and is subject to annual repayment. Throughout the ongoing Del Paso and Marysville Boulevard Forward Together action planning process, North Sacramento community has highlighted the need for more inviting and active commercial corridors, more space for youth, and the need to reinvigorate community assets that are unique to the corridor. I think we can all agree that Iceland is unique and special to Del Paso Boulevard, and certainly a community asset, though currently an underutilized one. With the roof structure, Iceland will be able to operate year-round and attract approximately 50,000 skaters annually, many of whom might grab a beer at King Kong Brewing or sushi at Southpaw, or visit any other new establishment that might pop up on the boulevard in the future. Revitalization of this critical North Sacramento landmark presents a great opportunity to activate the boulevard and is something the community has long awaited. I'm available to answer any questions you may have about the project or the loans. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Councilmember Loloe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. First and foremost, thank you so much to staff for working diligently on this project. This is a great project. As mentioned, Iceland Ice Skating Rink has been the landmark of Del Paso, my district, especially on Del Paso Boulevard. Very excited about this project. Very excited to be working with the wonderful operator and the property owners that really have taken these extra steps to see what they can give back to the community. And this ice skating rink is the biggest gift that can be given back to the community. So today has been a great day for D2. Earlier today, we approved 1212 Del Paso Boulevard, 75 low-income units. That's going to go up. I'm very proud to say, beginning of this year, we approved a project that's going to bring approximately 150 units on Del Paso Boulevard. And I'm very, very excited to say that we are currently working on another project without saying too much. I know Leslie's looking at me going, cut it, don't say too much. That's going to bring an additional little bit over 100 units on Del Paso Boulevard. So this is a very exciting day for District 2, especially our business corridor, which is Del Paso Boulevard. And I'm very proud of this project, and I want to thank to the operator and also the property owner for not giving up and pushing to get this to the finish line. And I want to assure the residents of District 2 that this has crossed the finish line after tonight. And I think it's safe to say, and I want to make sure I get this right, that we can have our ice skating rink open and operational beginning of next year. not to put too much pressure on anyone. So, and it's an all year round. So very excited for all of us to be there for the grand opening and put some skates on and get out there and see how many bones we can break on that day. So with that said, I'd like to, if there's no public comments on this, I'd like to...
You're welcome to make the motion now. There is some public comment. But
regarding this?
Yeah, but it's okay. Make the motion.
I'd like to move this, close and move this.
Okay, it's been moved by the council member. There's a second by council member Jennings. Let's now hear from the public, and then we'll turn it over to
Mr. Mayor.
Do you want to wait until after public testimony?
Oh, sure. Sorry, I wasn't sure if you were.
Yeah, we have public testimony.
First speaker is Lambert, then Andy Hernandez, then Rob Kurth. Please start speaking, and then I can put it up.
Okay. My name is Lambert Davis. I'm a 1976 alumni from Grant High School, so I'm very familiar with District 2. I'm very familiar with Del Paso Boulevard, Marysville Boulevard, and Raleigh Boulevard. I would like to protest this. In all my years, I've never seen where someone can receive this amount of money and it be forgivable. Even college students don't get their loans forgiven. And under my understanding, ARPA funding, I don't think that was for giving loans. I have to study it more. And also, I would like to know, it says Sammy's Restaurant. I'm a big fan of Sammy's before they closed. And Sammy received a lot of money as well, and they haven't been open for 3 years. Where'd the money go? My question is, how much does it cost to put the roof on Iceland skating rink? That's why I like to listen to the city manager's report. We need answers for this because a lot of black-owned businesses have had difficulties getting money out of here, including my family, to the Bay and Back cheesecakes. And everything we get is so scrutinized, I'm against giving anyone this amount of money and forgiving it as a loan. That the mayor and the city council should vote against that unless they know how much it costs to put that roof on. I go down Del Paso Boulevard a lot, and I've never seen that roof on there. And I worked in construction. You should know how much it costs to put a roof on. Otherwise, this is gross negligence of giving this kind of money. You should give it to the Bay and Back cheesecakes. We're still open.
Thank you for your comments. Our next speaker is Andy Hernandez, then Rob Kurth.
We're bringing the whole team up here, I think. The ones that will actually come up. I'll go ahead and start. My name is Andy Hernandez. I'm currently serving as the president of Sacramento Iceland. I first wanted to thank the staff, Amanda and Leslie, for all the hard work they did. And I want to thank all of you for considering these loan packages to help Iceland rebuild and resume our mission of serving the North Sacramento community with safe, family-friendly activities for our youth. We look forward to making Iceland another bright spot on the corridor that has seen its share of challenging economic times. I urge you to support both loans being presented today. Thank you.
Mayor, council members, good evening. I know that each of you, like really good elected officials everywhere, spends your days and nights trying to figure out how to build the wealth of our community. One of the key things is how do we even measure success of that? And one obvious measure is incomes. It's easy to track incomes, but it doesn't paint the whole picture of the wealth of a community. Another measure is the community's public infrastructure, things like electric poles and wires. I'm sorry, I had to say that. Things like schools and supermarkets, community centers and theaters, those key facilities that add so much to our daily lives. And then there are those few facilities that mean just a little bit more. Those special places where people come together with their friends and their neighbors to grow in ways that they never could alone. Thank you. Thank you on behalf of the hundreds of thousands of future skaters whose lives will be enriched at Iceland, and for returning to Sacramento the year-round thrill of ice skating. We couldn't do it without you. Thanks. With that, I have to introduce my mom, 95 years old.
Wow.
My family and...
Would you like to say a few words?
Would you like to speak, Mom?
Just say thank you.
Yeah.
She says thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Rob. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I have one more speaker, Angela Grivalda.
Yes, it's Angela Grijalva. Thank you. So my question is I think this project is really wonderful. I just wondered if in any way Councilmember Lololi's pending criminal investigation will impact the project moving forward.
Thank you for your comments. Mayor, I have no more speakers.
Okay. Let us now hear from the council. I know I have a comment that I want to make, but I see Councilmember Valenzuela.
Yeah, I was going to second the motion, but I think my colleague beat me to it. I love this ice rink, and I think what I love so much about it is it's obviously a gem in District 2, but I just have to say that, like, I got so many messages from parents in my district who grew up going to that ice rink, who want to take their kids back to that ice rink. It's just, it really is a gem that benefits our entire city, and I'm just really excited to see it moving forward. I got lots of little nudges saying, please support this. And I was like, of course I'm going to support this. This is a really great project and a really strategic use of resources. And I'm excited to get out there and skate when the time comes. So thank you all for your work bringing this together.
Thank you. Thank you. Councilmember Jennings.
Yeah, I just want to join my colleague in acknowledging the great impact that Iceland has had in the Sacramento region and Sacramento area. 80 years is a long time to operate a business, and you've done it with excellence. I know Mom was in charge of that many years ago and passed it on to you and others. And so I just want to acknowledge you. And I was asking the city manager, was Iceland eligible to be a historic landmark? And he was telling me that there might have to be a nomination in order for that to happen. And so it would be my goal, because of the importance that they've played in the Sacramento community, to try to see what it would take to get it nominated, that it becomes a historic landmark, because that's exactly what they've done. They've impacted history and the lives of kids, many who never thought that they would ice skate, because that's not what you do in California until you go to Icelink. So congratulations on this day and all that you've done, and we thank you on behalf of our families and our kids and all those who will participate for years to come with Icelink.
Thank you, Councilman Jennings. I just want to make a couple comments. I had the privilege of serving with Rob Kurth on the City Council back 30 years ago, over 30 years ago. Tracy, remember? Yeah. And I remember then what an important part of the history of North Sacramento, Iceland was and remains. And so to hop a generation here and to see this now come back together after hard times, thank you, Councilmember Loloi. But thank you to the Kurth family, and thank you for all those who've worked so hard in North Sacramento over the course of many, many decades. Through good times and bad, there is a tremendous history and culture and tradition, in part represented by this wonderful, not only economic driver, but historic and cultural resource. And so I want to add one other thing that's more macro, and that is that, you know, I often say it, there's a lot of back and forth and debate in this city about whether or not our job is to invest in basic services or whether it's to invest in the economic future of the city. And of course, the right answer is both. And several years ago, back 6 years ago, I believe we passed that big second half of Measure U, and it's generated $65 million or so of additional revenue a year. And yes, I campaigned hard that we were going to put as much of it into the commercial corridors in the community as we could, and we've done a lot of that. And at the same time, given some of the budget challenges we face as a city, it has saved the city budget. Now, where am I going with this? We had two signature opportunities through the Coronavirus Relief Act and the American Rescue Plan to determine how we were going to invest in the city. And the total was almost $200 million. And this city council and its predecessor city council decided that, yes, it was going to set aside some of the money for our city services and our city employees that we did. But we also upheld that commitment that we made to the voters back in 2018, albeit, you know, in a maybe not such a straight line way, to invest directly in the community. And so this is $5 million for Del Paso Boulevard. I know Councilmember we always joke that wants it to be 10, but it's a start. Just like we've done with Northgate Boulevard, just like we've done with so many signature projects throughout the city of Sacramento. So government is imperfect, but we have managed over these last 6 or 7 years to try to find the right balance between funding the city's government and the services and investing in our community. And this is a great example of that. So big night and good night. Thank you. All right. We have a motion and a second on item 51. Please call the roll.
Thank you. Councilmember Kaplan? Councilmember Loloe? Yes. Councilmember Talamontes?
Aye.
Councilmember Valenzuela?
Yes.
Councilmember Maple?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Guerra?
Absolutely aye.
Councilmember Jennings?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Vang?
Yes.
And Mayor Steinberg.
Aye. Unanimous. Congratulations. Terrific. All right. Well, that. Okay. That. Come on, Mr. Davis. You know you can't shout out.
Put the roof on.
Okay.
That's a lot of money for a roof.
Okay.
Ceiling on.
Okay. Let us move now to item number 52 as we go to the discussion calendar here and we get into the non-consent items. Item 52, who's presenting on? Very good.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. My name is Pravani Vandya, and I'm the Director of Utilities. The item that I bring before you tonight is a continuation from the October 24th Council meeting related to the establishment of the Storm Drainage Development Impact Fee. The ordinance to establish the Storm Drainage Development Fee was adopted at the October 24th Council meeting. Tonight, I'm requesting the adoption of the fee amounts and related nexus study. The slide shows the proposed fee amounts for a single-family residential unit for pump drainage and gravity drainage, which directly relates to the type of drainage basin or system the project is served by. The amount of infrastructure needed in a gravity basin is less, so we felt it was equitable to distinguish between the two. As you can see, our proposed drainage fees are low compared to most, but we are starting from no fee at all. So this fee simply reflects the depreciated value of the current infrastructure that new development projects will use. I think it is important to point out that this proposed fee directly impacts our drainage system that channels stormwater out of the city and away from our neighborhoods. This is a critical fee for a flood-prone city such as Sacramento. The additional discussion items that was continued from October 24th with Council's request to meet with stakeholders to answer questions related to the DOU impact fees and how they applied to North Natomas and other development projects. City staff met twice with stakeholders to discuss the adjustments to our fees. DOU confirmed that the infrastructure included in the North Natomas financial plan was not included in the Nexus study fee. The North Natomas plan accounted for water distribution infrastructure, which is typically a cost paid by the developer. The Nexus study only included larger water transmission and supply infrastructure. DOU also confirmed that our Nexus studies followed industry best practices to use general plan data to determine future growth projects. At the conclusion of the meetings, no additional concerns were raised on this issue, and all outstanding action items were completed. Since our last council meeting, DOU began to develop the implementation guidelines of these fees and the associated exemptions. We have found that the exemption language is vague and may lead to a misinterpretation. To help provide clarity and to ensure that the initial attempt to exempt active projects in the pipeline is met, we are developing refined language. DOU will work with stakeholders on the language amendment to confirm the agreement upon intent remains while providing clear guidelines to staff for implementation purposes. This item will come back to Council for approval of the amended language. With this, I'll conclude my presentation and ask for Council's approval of the Storm Drainage Development Fee Nexus Study and the associated fee schedule. Staff, consultants, and I are available for any questions.
All right, thank you so much. Do we have public testimony?
Yes, Mayor, I have two speakers. The first is Mac Worthy, then Nick Advis.
If you would take a few people that go through the neighborhood and teach people what is a storm ditch drain. We have bad engineering here. We can bring out core engineering and show you what's the problem. Just like right now, to keep those drains clear, you should have young men first crop of leaves before they get wet and stop those drains. I can go and show you. I've been here since 18 years old, I'm 82 years. I can show you corners that have drained. I can show you in front of my house. You got to have an engineer here that know what they're doing. What is a storm ditch and what is not storm ditch. This is the reason businesses don't come here, because every time you turn around, you got your fees. You got fees and fees and fees. We need businesses in here that hire people and they can maintain their household. But as long as you raise fees and don't show them the problem, you're going to have these type of problems. You can only contribute to crime. When a man ain't got a job, where else he can go to? Crime. And you know this. This is what we said when the system produces a certain amount of crime in America, and this is true facts. Do economics. This is not the time to raise fees on the storm ditch. You study the storm ditch. Other than that, just like the water, it never been shortage of water. The meters supposed to save water, the meters didn't. The price went up, and I told you, I stood right here and told you, the price is going up. And it's going up. So the thing about it is teach the community what you are doing against their pocket. That's the bottom line. The reason businesses ain't coming here. Businesses leaving this thing. So wake up, people. Educate the community. That's the problem here.
Thank you for your comments. Nick Avdis.
Good evening, Vice Mayor, members of the council. Nick Avdis on behalf of Integral Communities this evening and the North Lake Project. We appreciate the opportunity to testify today. We obviously do not object to the need to modernize the city's water infrastructure fee programs. Do have, and I appreciate staff raising the issue relative to exemptions as it relates to pipeline projects. We've reached a point where we have a little bit of a differing interpretation, and do appreciate the opportunity for that dialogue to come back to the City Council, but that is going to be a critical issue for components of this project, North Lake, that includes a multifamily component that relied on that exemption, looking forward to build that portion. So we appreciate it. We'll look forward to the dialogue, but it is an issue that we're obviously needing to work through. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Vice Mayor, I have no more speakers on this agenda item.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Let me bring it back to the council. Councilmember Kaplan.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. You know, this has been a long time coming, and I've said, you know, I've been very supportive of how we look at increasing our fees. Unfortunately, you know, we didn't do a gradual and trying to do something that recovers where we need to be on the backs of development today could stop development and actually get us where we're going backwards and don't have these fees. So those were my concerns when we first brought it up, and I just want to say thank you for staff with meeting with some of the concerns parties and addressing their needs. But I will confirm that a grading permit exemption is essential. And this item coming back, I am telling you now, I am a no vote unless the grading permit exemption continues, because that is essential for building houses that we need for everybody. There is always a balance, but housing and building more housing is essential over everything else. And so I just wanted to make sure that was said into the record. But thank you for all of your hard work. Thank you, staff, for the countless hours and time and meeting with all of the stakeholders. I know this has not been easy, but this is a time where we have to move things forward. And I do look forward to the conversations of the exemption on the grading permit coming back to council. With that, I will move this item because most of the issues have been addressed, but reserve my vote based off of the definition of a grading exemption.
Thank you, Councilmember Kaplan. Do we have a motion and a second on? It's already been moved. Very good. Then.
Don't we have to open and close this as a public hearing? Just wanted to make sure. So, okay. Okay, great. I was just going to do that. Yeah, I just had a quick, just wanted to make some comments. I just wanted to thank Pravani really just for her incredible work and her leadership to really get us to this moment. I mean, I think we are incredibly overdue to modernize our fee system. And so really appreciate you talking to all the partners, developers, making time, holding space to figure out a compromise. I think at the end of the day, for me, our concern is really about making sure that we protect public health, right? And these dollars are gonna go to really invest in our infrastructure. And so just really wanted to take this moment to thank city staff for their hard work. And with that, since it's been open and closed, I will go ahead and move this item. If Councilwoman Kaplan already moved it, I will be happy to second. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, so we do have a motion and a second to open and close the public hearing and approve the item. Let's call the roll, please.
Thank you. Councilmember Kaplan? Aye. Councilmember Laloe? Aye. Councilmember Talamantes?
Aye.
Councilmember Valenzuela?
Yes.
Councilmember Maple?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Guerra?
Aye.
Councilmember Jennings?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Vang?
Yes.
And Mayor Steinberg?
Yes. All right. Thank you very much for working all that out and the entire process, which was, I know, complicated and difficult, but you landed the plane, Bonnie. Congratulations, and team. Thank you. All right, we now move above the din of the sticks banging outside. Is that everyone? We keep order in the chambers. We will make sure that everyone is heard. Okay.
I believe we have code compliance, case fees, and
Item
penalties.
53.
Item 53.
Good evening, Mayor Steinberg and members of City Council. I'm Peter Lemos. I'm your Code and Housing Enforcement Chief for the Community Development Department. The items before you are the Neighborhood Code Compliance and Housing and Dangerous Building case fees and penalties for special assessment and or personal obligation. I have two items, 53 and 54. I would like to present them concurrently if that's okay, and they would need a separate vote. Item 53, the Community Development Department Administrative Penalties and Neighborhood Code Compliance case fees reports list an amended total of 324 properties with a sum of $796,690.99 of unpaid fees and penalties scheduled for special assessment and or personal obligations against the properties. 17 properties listed in your Exhibit A of the staff report have been removed from the report and are identified as line numbers 46 through 48, 94, 222 through 225, 263, 268, 291 and 292, 334, and 335, 421, 429, 452, 459 through 463, 472, 490, 522 through 523, 583, and 632. Item 54, the Housing and Dangerous Buildings Case Fees Staff Report lists a total of 148 properties with a total of $167,995.47 of unpaid fees scheduled for liens against the property. 9 properties listed in your Exhibit A of the staff report have been removed from the report and are identified as numbers 35, 45 through 47, 52, 93, 164 through 166, 183, 189, 195, 200 through 204, and 217. Staff recommends the City Council adopt the 2 resolutions separately as amended to allow the city to collect unfees by placing special assessments, levies, and/or personal obligations upon the properties. This concludes my presentation.
Very good. All right. Do we have public testimony on these items?
Mayor, I have no public comments on items 53 or 54.
All right, then let's take a motion and a second on 53. I think we need to do these separately, correct?
We need to open and close the public hearing.
Open and close the public hearing.
Mayor,
Councilmember Maple?
I will open and close the public hearing.
And approve item 53. Thank you. Second by Councilmember Talamantes. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Kaplan.
Aye.
Councilmember Laloy. Councilmember Talamantes.
Aye.
Councilmember Valenzuela.
Yes.
Councilmember Maple.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Guerra.
Aye.
Councilmember Jennings.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Vang.
Yes.
And Mayor Steinberg.
Yes. All right, that passes 9-0. Item 54, moved with an open and closing of the public hearing by Councilmember Maple, seconded by Councilmember Talamantes. Please call the roll.
Thank you. Councilmember Kaplan. Aye. Councilmember Laloy. Aye. Councilmember Talamantes. Aye. Councilmember Valenzuela.
Yes.
Councilmember Maple.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Guerra.
Aye.
Councilmember Jennings.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Vang.
Yes.
And Mayor Steinberg.
Yes. All right. We now go to, I think, one of the main items of the evening, and that is item 55, the Business Operations Tax Modernization. We did hear this, I believe, 2 weeks ago.
Correct.
And gave, I think, pretty clear direction, and now we're back for a vote and certification, potential certification for the March election.
Correct. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, council members, and members of the public. I'm Pete Coletto, the Finance Director for the city. And as the Mayor mentioned, this is a follow-up on your council's action on October 31st. Before I begin, we do need to read into the record a clerical correction in the ordinance. In proposed City Code Section 3.08.200, subsection B, which has to do with hotels, motels, and short-term rentals, the last line should read in excess of 1 unit per situs. It currently reads 3. It should be 1. And with that, this is the timeline. The council is familiar with this. The tax was established in the 70s. It was last updated in 1991. Again, that's very important because levels in that tax have eroded with inflation. We've received multiple recommendations to modernize the tax, and your council brought formal direction to do so during this year's budget hearings. And then that last dot in red captures what happened on the 31st, where your council directed staff to make revisions and bring this back. So council's action on the 31st was to bring the revised BOT, which we'll discuss in a minute, present an analysis of scenarios, one at a higher BOT rate, one with a specific grocery lower rate, and then looking at the impact of different maximums with tighter gross receipts range. And then outside of this whole initiative process, there was general direction from the council to make sure that we're having holistic engagement with the business community, including economic development as well as any functions looking to raise revenues. So this chart shows the October 31st ordinance and the proposed ordinance that captures the changes that council made. Everything in red is what has changed. So the residential rentals, the exemption for residential landlords was increased by 1 unit. The gross receipts threshold, that's the level where you start paying the gross receipts tax, increased from $50,000 to $100,000. And then the phase-in of the maximum annual cap was split based on your business size, with businesses under 500 million of gross receipts phasing into $150,000 maximum, and over 500 million phasing into a $200,000 a year maximum, with levels adjusted in the future by inflation. And the last change was language in the ordinance to allow council to exempt and or charge a lower gross receipts tax rate to certain sectors. Staff, we have administrative concerns about that, which I'll get into later in the presentation. So we wanted to show the fiscal impact of council's changes. So if you remember, on October 31st, the ordinance would, or the new BOT would result in $4 million of additional revenue in the first year and escalate to 6.3 as the maximum phases in. The increase in the minimum threshold, that would result in lower revenue, primarily from smaller and medium-sized businesses. We estimate the impact of at around $200,000 per year. And the increase in the maximum cap, you can see how that phases in. So overall, year one, we were estimating 4.2 million fiscal impact, and scaling up to 6.7 when the maximum's fully phased in. One thing that I'll just note is there were 7 businesses that had over 500 million gross receipts who would be impacted by that higher cap. And again, we can't model out the fiscal impact of any exemptions or lower rates without more information. So you're familiar with this type of chart. It just shows where the additional revenue or the revenue change by business size. We added another category for the $500 million plus businesses since they're subjected to a different rate. And you can see how we get to the 6.7 when it's fully phased in. This is the what does it mean for me if I'm a business chart. So you can see a $10 million a year business. They're currently paying $4,026 in BOT. Under the proposed ordinance in year one, they'd pay $4,010, so it would be a decrease of $16. And this shows what it would look like when it's fully phased in year 5. You can see that split down at the bottom between businesses under 500 million and over 500 million, and their different maximum caps. So we wanted to look at some different scenarios. The first one was at a higher gross receipts tax rate. So we held the other assumptions constant, and we increased the tax rate to 0.05%. And it results in about $2 million of extra revenue in the first year, and then it scales up to 2.6 in the 5th year. One thing that I'll note, though, is if you're one of the larger businesses, you're already paying the maximum. So the higher rate isn't really going to impact you. So the brunt of this impact is really on your small and medium-sized businesses. So this shows, based on business size, the revenue impact under the proposed ordinance and under the higher rate. And you can really see once you hit $100,000 to up to about $50 million, you can see that's where the main impact is. And this is the what does it mean for me if I'm a business. And again, you can see the really large businesses, there's no impact for them, but those small and medium-sized businesses can have a significant impact from increasing the rate. The next scenario that we have here is a lower tax rate for grocers specifically. Again, the financial assumptions are based on your proposed ordinance. One thing that I'll note is that people self-identify as business type in our system. So we're modeling out all the firms that self-identified as grocers last fiscal year. And so we're excluding any firm that might, if there's a preferential rate, say, hey, I'm actually a grocer. We can't really capture that. And the other thing that I'll just mention is that there are administrative challenges with having a different rate for different sectors. We would have to figure out some way for us to police that and adjudicate that, and that would come at a cost that would eat into these additional revenues. But all that being said, in fiscal year 23, there were 104 total firms that self-selected as grocers. 75 were those local grocers that we identified and presented to you in the October 31st analysis. And you can see the financial impact versus last year's actuals based on different rates. So if you were to lower the rate from 0.04 to 0.01 under your current ordinance, you'd give up $400,000 in the first year. This chart just shows the maximum cap, the impact at different maximum caps with tighter gross receipt ranges. It's a lot of numbers. The only thing that I'll really point out is you can see, as that maximum gets higher, you're really only impacting those 7 largest businesses because the other ones, don't have the gross receipts to pay the increased maximum. We've received over the past couple of days a lot of questions about phasing in the flat rate for professionals. So if you remember, one of the proposals in the BOT was to consolidate the professionals, both the professional businesses owners and the professional brokers, into a single category and increase their flat rate by inflation and their per employee rate by inflation over the last 30 years. So we had questions of what does it look like if we phase that increase in over 5 years. So you can see that above chart is what would the flat rate be over the 5 years, and then the below chart is what's the fiscal impact. So in the first year, it would be $500,000 of revenue loss. We also looked at a 2-year phase-in. Obviously that's a smaller revenue loss. It would be $300,000 in the first year. Here are some things that, as staff, we want the council to take into consideration. What we're trying to do now is really to strike the right balance. We want to modernize the BOT, but minimize any negative economic impacts. The first thing to take into consideration is it's been 30 plus years since this tax has been updated. A lot of the levels in the tax have eroded by inflation. A 2023 dollar is worth a lot less than a 1991 dollar. When we look at our comparator cities, similarly sized cities in California, we are low compared to them, but we're higher than our surrounding cities in the region. So we want to keep that in mind. We have a structural budget deficit as a city, so we do need to look at ways we can raise revenues. A gross receipts tax, as you all know, is a top-line tax. It doesn't take into account a business's expenses. And many of our large gross receipt businesses, they're also large sales tax generators. So we don't want to drive them away, and we want to make sure we're competitive to be able to recruit new businesses. So as far as the next steps, you have a revised BOT ordinance before you today, as well as related resolutions to place the BOT modernization measure on the March primary ballot. If council elects to place something on the ballot, the primary is March 5th. The ballot measure would need a majority to pass. It's a general purpose tax. And if council places it on the ballot and voters approve, it would go into effect at the beginning of our next fiscal year on July 1, 2024. And with that, we are happy to answer any questions.
All right, again, we did have a full presentation on this last time, and we appreciate the update. We do have 3 members of the public who want to testify. I'm going to make an opening comment, then I'll turn it over to the members. Yes, please.
Thank you. Mallory Haynes, Mac Worthy, and then Aaron Teague.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. I first want to thank you for the opportunity to have provided feedback to several of you as well as staff. Blue Diamond has also provided a comment letter. Since 1914, Blue Diamond Growers has been a proud Sacramento business, operating our manufacturing facility and headquarters here. We employ over 1,200 team members and produce our well-known almond products for customers around the world. Although we have a global brand, we do not operate like your typical large business. Blue Diamond is a grower-owned cooperative, representing 3,000 small family farmers across California. Because we are a cooperative, all our profits are provided directly back to our growers. We are quite literally supporting the livelihood of 3,000 small businesses and their ability to grow food and support their local economies like the Sacramento region. Blue Diamond is one of the businesses that would be taxed at $200,000. While that may seem insignificant to one of our small family farms who is trying to make ends meet, this could be the difference between keeping the family farm or selling it. We understand the need to increase the business operations tax, but believe it should be done in a manner that considers the nuances of the business community and acknowledges that these actions are not done in a vacuum. This tax is on top of additional fees, costs, and compliance requirements of the cities that have a compounding effect on business operations. Residential encroachment, building electrification, a potential trucking ordinance are just several of the pressures we currently face. The increase to $200,000 exacerbates the already challenging business environment, especially for a grower-owned cooperative. We appreciated the pragmatic nature of October's proposal of the 5-year phase-in with a maximum threshold of $125,000. And so it is with respect that we urge you to support that proposal tonight, as it is a fair and reasonable compromise. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. Mac Worthy.
I was just telling you that fees is running people away from the state, and you come right back. Fees, fees, fees. How can you do it? Put it on the ballot and you'll see it voted down. People, this is the reason your wage stays so low, because the city taking your money from your corporation that you're working for. That's all you got to do. Vote it down. Put it on the ballot, they vote it down. You cannot ask for a decent wage when your employer paying through the nose. Now, real estate and developers is a different thing. Real estate and developers got a windfall, depreciation. Sit down and figure it out. 25 years on $600 million, and you see how much they have pocket. Developers is not developers is not businesses in here. Developers is make the money and run. That's what developers do. Same thing about the water. Developers don't pay for water here. Developers jump in and put it in the residents' pocket. That's where it comes out. You can't keep pounding the residents and raising the prices on your fees and not bringing no business. You see why big businesses stay away from here? Because you charge them through the nose. You can't do that. Economics, get out there and teach the public is what's doing. I was in the business myself for 50-some years here, the reason I know. Nobody asked me, said, Mr. Worthy or Mac. I prefer to be called Mac instead of Mr. Sit down and go over these with us, and I'll show you. Just like the ice skating thing over there. I know when black people couldn't go in that thing. People, wake up. You sit here and run stuff through, and then you turn around and don't tell them the truth. I know when they're put North Sacramento was a business. All that closed off. How did you demolish a business? And now you turn around and give away money. And the same thing in here.
Thank you for your comments. Your time is complete. Aaron Teague is our final speaker on this item.
Good evening, council and staff. Aaron Teague on behalf of the Sacramento Association of Realtors, more specifically the 248 brokers in the city of Sacramento and our over 7,000 members that represent the region. SAR realizes the constraints of operating a city under an outdated business tax structure and the need for modernization. But we completely disagree with the 648% jump in the business operation tax for a broker, which is more than 3 times the change of inflation since 1991. Catching up on 30 years of inflation in less than a year is completely unfair to small businesses. There should be a way to right-size the fee over time. Taking inflation into account, $100 in 1991 would be equal to $228 today. If you were to implement in a phase-in process over 3 years, which would take you from $150 to $200 to $228, and then apply CPI moving forward, that would give you an opportunity for us to not only catch up so that we're on par with inflation, but then keep the trajectory moving forward as we try to foster and develop our real estate industry to keep a robust city. Real estate brokerages are small businesses that are feeling the same financial burdens and hardships that other small businesses are feeling throughout the city. In addition to other small businesses, there are several other fees that brokers are required to pay in order to operate in this city as realtors. Corporate licensing taxes, workers' compensation, unemployment tax to the state, building property tax to the county, the Department of Real Estate brokerage fees, the Department of Real Estate licensee fees, and this does not include association dues or Metrolist fees that are required to operate as a realtor. With this in mind, we would ask that you would reconsider this fee and let's keep business moving forward in Sacramento and modernize the business tax.
Ms. Teague, let me ask you, if I may, a question. Thank you. Just as Ms. Hayes a moment ago, at the end of her presentation, made a proposal, essentially asking that we go back to the original staff recommendation the way that I heard it. You said something in the middle of your presentation about a 3-year phase-in.
Correct.
If the City Council, in its discretion as we debate this over the next hour or so, were to make a modification to give brokers a longer phase-in so that the catch-up was over, as you described, paraphrasing,
Sure.
over a more reasonable period of time, I'm sure the realtors wouldn't love it, but would you not be opposed to it if we were to make that amendment?
It would definitely be something we would consider, yes.
It would be something.
So are you considering the numbers that I proposed right now?
So why don't you go over that again?
Okay.
So that we're clear.
So to get us to so based on my numbers, to get us to $228, to phase that in over 3 years, starting with 2024, going to $150, and then the following year to $200, and then the third year to $228, and then after that, CPI.
After that, CPI. So let me ask our finance department here whether or not, and I know we might be dealing with backs of envelopes here as this gets thrown out, but could you give us a ballpark about what the fiscal impact of that kind of an idea might be?
Sure. Again, it's back of the envelope, but in the first year, it would probably be around $100,000 of less revenue than what we proposed. When it's fully phased in, it'd probably be around
65,000 less?
65,000 less than what we proposed.
Okay. Okay, and again, I mean, I know that, but this is important conversation, even if it's out in public in front of everybody. But if the council were to consider that, the realtors would not oppose
No,
this
because
measure.
we would be doing our part to stay on par and doing our fair share.
And you wouldn't oppose it in March.
Correct.
Correct.
Based
Okay.
on these numbers.
Something to at least factor in here.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Teague. Okay, who's next? Okay, we have no more speakers. I'm going to turn it over to the members here in a moment, and I know Councilmember Valenzuela is first. Come on in. You need to come in. Councilmember Valenzuela was first, but I just want to the last dialogue back and forth with the last couple of speakers I think was important and relevant, and I just want to say that there is, I would love, given especially the city's needs, the deficit, and we're going to hear from a lot of our city workforce here, Local 39, to maximize the amount of revenue that we could gain for good purposes by modernizing the BOT. Okay. At the same time, if we don't pass some version of this in March, we are not going to gain upwards of $6 million. And give or take some of the margins that we've just been discussing here back and forth. And I want us, as a council, you might call it politics or electoral politics, I want us to consider that balance here. Because we could propose something much higher than the staff has recommended or even what we discussed 2 weeks ago. And if we lose, we get nothing. No right or wrong, just a balance that we all need to consider. All right, Councilmember Valenzuela, then I'm going to turn it over to Vice Mayor Guerra.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I appreciate that framing because I know we're all looking at a dire budget situation and a very outdated tax rate. And so I do want to appreciate stakeholders that are coming forward and saying this is what it would take for me not to oppose. And we don't hear that very often. I often tell people the answer can't just be no, because we're in a situation that we need to right size our budget so we can take care of our staff and do all the other great things that we want to do. So in my mind, Mayor, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's a few key things that we need to consider here. One is the proposal you just mentioned for the brokers. The other that was modeled, and thank you staff for modeling, is the 0.05 rate, which would be an increase in 0.01 of the current rate, which is 0.04. And I'm naming real numbers because I think real numbers are really important. When I look at the chart that Pete provided, this means that businesses under $1 million under $12.5 million will pay incrementally more, but no more than $1,000 a year on our current proposal. And that most of the businesses that would pay more would be above that $12.5 million. Granted, it would cap out because eventually you hit the $200,000 cap or the $150,000 cap. But I do think that that's a pretty nominal impact that I would like to just see considered, especially when you couple it with the language that I do still support, which is allowing us to make adjustments down but not up at future dates, which we do currently for cannabis, as our city attorney pointed out, and I think is a tool that would really help us both policy-wise, but also politically, Mayor, as you're talking about specific sectors coming forward and saying, hey, wait a minute, something's wrong. We don't want to find out in February that something is wrong that we didn't know about, and we've bound ourselves to a specific way of doing things. So I think having that language that the city attorney's office has drafted that gives us the ability to adjust for specific business sectors is really important so that we can ensure we're giving ourselves the tools we might need to adjust down the line. So my preference is to consider 0.05, and I'm supportive of the new caps, but I also appreciate and really want to thank Mallory for coming forward from Blue Diamond. That's in my district. It is, this is another one of those reasons why we talk about specific sectors as being really important, because some food processing sectors are going to be impacted differently than, say, another business that doesn't have that high of overhead, that is really just dealing more in financial transactions or other types of business activities. And so I do want to appreciate that, and I'm curious to hear my colleagues' thoughts about how we could best address those concerns. But those are the considerations, and for me, my idea is to consider the 0.05 rate and to keep the language in here that allows us to make future adjustments by sector, so that we can be responsive to community needs that might arise after this passes, hopefully in March. So those are my 2 cents right now, Mayor.
Thank you, Council Member. Let me turn it over to Vice Mayor Guerra.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I think I appreciate your framing of the point here. If we don't nail this right, and if we overreach, we could get nothing. And I think that is the concern. And if the last election cycle showed us anything on how many ballot measures failed, we have to be thoughtful about it. And what I do appreciate is we've had a number of sectors that have come in and said, not that they didn't say no, they said we could live with this. And even my conversation this morning with a lot of the manufacturers in my district who employ a lot of folks in the trades, who employ a lot of folks who don't necessarily have an advanced degree, but get above a minimum wage. Their concern is the impact of the BOT. And I do want to thank staff for a lot of this work. I mean, this work, again, is a unique balance of figuring out how do we address our fiscal challenges. And to be blunt here, there's no way that the BOT will backfill or solve all of the city's BOT challenge. It is one tool, so we need to make sure that we're using the right tool. And I think that their staff recommendation at Law and Ledge after the second hearing came out with, I think, a very a thoughtful approach. So I'm going to put together a motion here to try to get us moving forward in a conversation here. And it includes combinations of what we had of our last hearing and what we started off from Law and Ledge. So first, let's start off with the maximum annual cap. I believe staff got it right the first time. I do believe that I know as much as we would like to increase that number over and over to a higher amount, there are sectors in our city that are very mobile. Not all are as mobile as, say, maybe a manufacturer that has heavy capital, but we do have a sector that is mobile. So I support the way the staff had worked together with some of the stakeholders to get to that year 1, 25,000, year 2, 50,000, year 3, $75,000 in year 4, $100,000 in year 5, $125,000, and then future adjustments by CPI, and that's outlined. And we could use that language that was already in the prior resolution, if staff is there, to include that. On the gross receipt base, I do want to thank Councilmember Jennings, Councilmember Kaplan, and I think Councilmember Lowy as well. You guys hit the mark right. I think Councilmember Valenzuela also brought it up. That threshold on gross receipts should be $100,000. Because $50,000 is maybe 1 month, sometimes gross receipts if you have a high turnover rate. So I think the $100,000 was good and respects basically the smallest businesses, the individual entrepreneurs. On the hotel, motel, short-term rental, none of that is changing. I think there was no discussion, no debate on that. I feel like the 114 plus per unit rate at $2.85 per unit. I think that was right. We got that one on the mark. On the residential rentals here, landlords, I think the council conversation, the last hearing, I think acknowledged that many folks use that as their second income, and moving the landlords with 3 or fewer rentals exempt. That's in the resolution already. I think we need to keep that in itself. And then the two major changes here. I think one, I don't think, I worry, I appreciate as a council having as much flexibility, but I worry about allowing a future exemption on any of the tax rate. I worry about, how that could be used, and just because I've seen how that's worked in years past, and the loopholes that it could create. You could have, smoke shops that all of a sudden add, a few vegetables and then use the claim for the grocery store. I supported the idea of looking at, does this affect our grocery stores? And I want to thank staff's research in that, because we said, look at where the breakdown is on the maximum annual camp, and does that affect our grocery stores? And the response was that we hit the numbers right where it does not have a negative impact. Is that correct?
That's correct. And with the, if you remember, council member, the median impact for what we brought on the 31st for a local grocer was $4. Under the proposal where you raised the threshold, that median impact would be a savings of $16 for your median local grocer.
Good. Well, my motion, Mr. Mayor, would not include that exemption, because I just worry about the gamesmanship or that could be used. And then on the professional flat rate here for the licensing fee, I appreciate the back and forth, Mr. Mayor, that you had with the realtors here on pushing them, and I think it's fair to say that an attorney, an engineer, a surgeon versus someone who is a broker or a realtor, and many of them are family realtors here. They're at different rates, and so I think acknowledging that it needs to be right sized, but the right number is good, and the fact that they want to use 3 years is good. So my motion would be to look at a 3-year progression, where in year 2024, the flat rate would be $150. On year 2025, it'll be $200, and on year 2026, it'll be $228, and thereafter CPI. So let me repeat that again. The year 1 would be $150, and that's in year 2024. In year 2, it'll be $200, and in year 3, $228 plus CPI. And that way, we don't fall behind in the future on these flat rates. So I think that recognizes it's a different profession, and interestingly enough, it's the only profession outside of everything that we didn't lump. We lumped in all the surgeons, all of the other financial sector fields together, and this one was on its own because it is a different sector. So let me. I'm going to repeat my motion so my colleagues who may have questions can ask and see if we can get to a resolution, because we want to get to the ballot.
Yes. So that's a motion.
That's a motion.
Okay.
Do you want me to repeat it, or do you want me to stop?
No, I think you've summarized it well.
Actually, I do want to repeat it.
Okay, let's have it
Actually,
repeated.
or I guess,
then.
can I just repeat it for you to understand?
Yes, go ahead, Councilmember.
Okay. So you're saying 125 instead of the 150 cap? And
Kaplan, excuse me one second, Councilmember Talamantes. Councilmember Kaplan seconded, just so we have a motion and a second on the floor, okay? But let's turn over to Councilmember Talamantes to summarize.
Okay,
Go.
I just want to make sure
Okay,
I'm getting my, okay. So instead of 150, you're proposing 125 cap.
Correct. That's in line with the October 31st recommendation that came out of
And
staff.
CPI after that, or no CPI?
CPI after that. That's correct. Yes, CPI after that. That is correct.
Okay. Gross receipt threshold to 100,000?
That is correct.
Okay. Landlord 3 or fewer exempt.
That is correct.
And the original was landlord 2 or fewer was exempt, and we changed that to 3.
No, the original was 4.
4. That's right. 4.
The language the same.
Correct. That's
Okay, so your proposal is 3.
correct. 3 or fewer.
Keep the current language?
It is the current language.
The current language is 4.
Yeah.
A different number.
Yes.
He's proposing a different number.
No loopholes for grocery stores or any kind of business.
Or no groceries. In the way it's described in the council or in the legislation right now, it allows the council to do anything. So I didn't. The conversation came about from grocery stores, but the way it's drafted, it's anything. So basically, let's just not open Pandora's box and let's not create an exemption.
Okay, and then the licensing for realtors, 2024, 150.
I'll get him.
2025, I didn't catch that number.
Correct.
150 again?
No, 22 and year 2024 it's 150.
Okay, 2026,
2025 it's
228.
200.
Okay.
And then in 2026 it'll be 228.
And then after that, CPI.
CPI, that's correct.
But Vice Mayor, just reading the room a little bit, or at least my intuition, the one issue about the exemption for small property owners, the staff recommendation was 4, and you've lowered it to 3. Are you willing to?
So the original staff recommendation was 2. Currently it's fewer than 4. The staff recommendation
Currently was 2.
Well, currently it's 3.
Currently it's 3.
Fewer than 4.
Fewer than
Staff
4.
recommended lowering it by 1, and the motion or the direction from council was to raise it back up to 3.
So my question is that just my intuition that you might want to keep it at the current, which is fewer than 4.
Fewer than 4.
Fewer than 4, yes.
I'm fine, and that came from Councilmember Kaplan. So
Yes, that's from Councilmember Kaplan. Okay.
And we'll stick with that. Fewer than 4.
Okay, we're saying the same thing. So it's
Fewer
the
than
current.
4.
It's the current way. Fewer than 4.
That's the way I read it.
Okay, so
of course I've said
Councilmember Kaplan
3 or fewer.
will maintain her second.
Yes, maintain
Okay.
if we keep the language the same as it's currently
As it's
written,
current.
never been changed.
Okay, we're good. All right.
Okay.
Now, Councilmember Talamantes, you still have the floor.
Yeah. Okay, so 2026, 228 after that, CPI is the last thing that we have.
Correct.
Our changes.
And the difference is it might cost the general fund $100,000 in the first year and $65,000 or so, as I heard Mr. Coletto, on an ongoing basis. So that's that balance again, revenue versus.
Now you may say cost, but if it doesn't pass, there's no realization.
When I refer to politics, I mean we have to pass a measure in March. That's the point. And that's millions of dollars for the city, for our workers, for our city services, so we can take the risk for $100,000. Now I'm making the argument. We can take the risk for $100,000 to risk funded, to risk verbal and political opposition. Okay, I mean that's quite a gamble there. So that's the point.
So
I want to pass this.
Okay, one more question. So with these changes that are currently being made right now, what does that bring the revenue into the city of Sacramento to?
So the proposed ordinance in the first year, it would have had a $4.2 million fiscal impact. The impact of moving the maximum cap back to October 31st levels in year 1 would result in around $400,000 less revenue. The broker change would result in around $100,000 less revenue. So in year 1, it would be 3.7 roughly more than we have now. In year 5, it would be 6 to 6.1 million in addition, compared to what we have now.
No. Compared with tonight's changes versus October 31st.
Yeah, so in year one, the change would be a $500,000 less, right?
Right.
And then in year 5, it would be 600,000 to 700,000 less. Because you're having, it's 600,000 from changing the cap back, and then around 65,000 from the brokerage change.
Understood. Okay. Councilmember? Okay, we'll think about it. That's fine. Councilmember Kaplan.
Thank you to staff. This is truly sausage making at its finest, live and in process. You know, and I'll go back to what I've said before and what I said at Law and Ledge. We can't do nothing. And it is always the fine balance of what can we do that the voters understand is reasonable and starts right-sizing. I was the one that asked it to go back to 150. Because I think we can do that. But I also understand if we go to 125, we're removing opposition from those who have disposable funds because we have greater things we need to do in the city. One of them is we got to right size. We got to do this. It's been 30 years. Yeah. But also, we have to be reasonable because you watched in the election last year, voters say no to several items that they didn't feel was transparent and thoughtful. And I can't say that I love all of this, but I can say we have to do something, and it is a fair balance. But I go back to the premise of we did this looking at how can we minimize the impact to small and medium businesses, because that is the heart and soul of our city. Let there be light. We need to move around. y'all have sat tightly,
Ethan,
very
Doug,
kindly.
Lights, please. Ephraim, Doug.
Nothing like a bit of levity in the middle of a pretty difficult decision. So I know I seconded this because while I am not happy where I think we should be, I think it's right in how do we come together as a city for the greater good in trying to find balance. And sometimes balance doesn't mean everybody is happy where we go, but the premise of how do we protect small and medium-sized businesses is a first and foremost in my mind, that this increase does protect our small and medium businesses, which are the lifeblood. So I just wanted to state that is why I am seconding it. I am not fully happy because I think we can do more, but I think doing something for the greater good of the city, for the greater whole, is more important than how I might personally feel. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you. Are there other members? So look, yeah, this is sausage making, but in a way, it's a good laboratory for the way a healthy debate in democracy can work, because we're being very transparent here. And it is a balance here. And again, I'm going to just, first of all, thank Mr. Coletto and the entire staff for their hard work and, you know, dancing on the head of a pin here. None of this is easy. Everybody's made a good argument and a winning argument about this hasn't been done in 30 years. We need the revenue. You know, we ought to go, we ought to try to maximize it. I know the environment that we're living in now, politically and otherwise, it's really, really sensitive and volatile. And even though this tax does not affect most Sacramentans, it would be very easy for an opposition campaign to say that. Okay, if we lose, that's $6 million less in 5 years, about, right? And yes, we're giving up, as you said, $500,000 in the first year and $600,000 to $700,000 in year 5 or 6, compared to the millions of dollars that we're going to bring in. I just think that what Councilmember Guerra, Vice Mayor Guerra, has put forward it hits the sweet spot. because we've heard tonight, and I heard it on the public record, that some of our lead stakeholders here are not going to oppose this measure. And that's really, really important. All right, so let's call the roll and see where the votes are.
Councilmember Kaplan. Aye. Councilmember Laloe. Councilmember Talamontes. Yes. Councilmember Valenzuela.
Yes.
Councilmember Maple.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Guerra.
Aye.
Councilmember Jennings.
Absolutely.
Mayor Pro Tem Vang.
Yes.
And Mayor Steinberg.
Yes, that's unanimous. We head to the ballot in March. Thank you. Thank you all very much for good discussion and good debate. All right. We now move to a related item with the council making the decision that it just made. It is now up to us to designate supporters and potential opponents to be listed on the ballot and to write the arguments pro and con. So on the pro side, we can pick up to 5, and I would certainly open it to any of my colleagues who who are willing to put their name on the ballot here and to support, obviously, to support this item. And I put out the same, although it was unanimous, for the opposition, and I'll explain how the opposition would work if nobody from the dais wants to participate. In fact, I'll do that now. If there's no opposition, the city clerk will then put that out publicly. There will be 10 days for anybody to submit opposition, and the clerk, I believe, has the discretion under the law to determine which argument best represents the no position. So who wants to sign up?
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor, if I could make a motion for the council, and what we've done in the past when we've either had too many or not enough, is we vote to delegate the authority to you to select the 5, and then at that point we can do the rebuttals, not only the 5s, but then the rebuttals and where the rebuttals land, and that
strong mayor. Yes. Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Good.
So that would mean the mayor needs to be one of those 5 signers.
If that's the case,
if I'm asking you to do it, then I'd be willing to do it myself. So I'll come talk to you.
Good.
Okay. Good enough.
That's my motion.
Okay. Is there a second?
There is.
Okay. Public testimony on this piece, Madam Clerk.
I have no public comment on this item. There are multiple administrative approvals with this item. That is just one for the argument authors. Do you want to talk about authors against?
Yeah, the author, I think I explained that. Is there anybody from the dais who wants to write the opposition argument here? I don't think so. So then the clerk will put that out for anybody to be able to respond.
Thank you. So the item is administrative approvals and arguments associated for the March 5th, 2024 municipal election. This is calling and giving notice of the placement, selection of argument authors, which you chose Mayor Darrell Steinberg as the argument author in favor, and call for an impartial analysis by the City Attorney's Office for the one measure, the Sacramento Business Operations Tax Update of 2024 as amended from the previous item.
Mr. Mayor, so moved.
Ms. Milstein, did you have something to read to the record?
I do. I'm actually going to put it up as well. Based on the actions taken, the addition of phasing, we wanted to offer a revision to the actual question. I will read it out loud. Shall the measure amending the City of Sacramento's perpetual business operations tax by increasing the gross receipts taxable threshold to $100,000 replace setting with phasing, new flat tax rates for professionals, $684 at year 5. The motion to change realtors will be reflected in the ordinance itself. Setting new flat tax rates for non-exempt residential rental hotels and short-term rentals, 114 plus 285 per unit above thresholds, and setting new maximum annual tax liability, all with yearly cost of living adjustments for an estimated annual increase of Pete? 6 million for general government use be adopted.
So Mayor, we just need approval of that. That's the revised language. The language that's currently in the council agenda item was different, but based on your discussion, that's what the revised language will now
That's
say.
what and this is part of this subsequent action.
It is
Okay, so
page
that'll be.
That's ballot language.
Okay, so Vice Mayor, you want to fold that into your motion?
No, it's actually this item.
It's its own item.
And it is page 5 to update it to this language.
So moved. As dictated by staff and the little edit there that's noted.
I know, but did we vote on the mayor designating? I don't think we voted.
So we had a motion and a second, and putting all of these together.
That's
so
what
the
I'm saying.
ballot question will be as amended. That
Yes.
resolution will be amended with this ballot
It's
language.
all together.
And that's approved by our maker of the motion and our second. Thank
Yes.
you.
Okay, let's call the roll, please.
Thank you. Councilmember Kaplan. Councilmember Laloe. Councilmember Talamantes. Councilmember Valenzuela.
Yes.
Councilmember Maple.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Guerra.
Aye.
Councilmember Jennings.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Vang. And Mayor Steinberg.
Yes. All right. That concludes the formal agenda items, does it not, Madam Clerk, for the evening?
That does. You move to any council comments, ideas, questions, and April.
Yeah. Why don't we start with council ideas and questions here before we move to what I think will be some lengthy testimony from the public for items not on the agenda. Are there council members who have ideas and questions? Speak now or forever.
I have one, Mayor.
Okay, I didn't see you up there. Councilmember Valenzuela, go ahead.
That's okay. I wanted to invite everybody, since we're not having a council meeting next week, I hope that you will join the Native Arts and Crafts Market, which will be at the California Indian Museum next Friday and Saturday. I believe it starts at 10 a.m. and goes until 4:30 p.m. And there's food trucks and really great gifts for people if you're looking for gifts that are made by local Native folks. And so I hope folks will come out and consider participating in that. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
Thanks, Mayor. I just have a few announcements from my district. We have a virtual meeting regarding apartment units, Clover Apartments community meeting to talk about housing development across from the Meadowview Light Rail Station. So encouraging folks to RSVP if you want to learn more about that. You can RSVP at heartandhustle.org /CLOVER APTS. That's /Clover Apartments. And then just wanted to let folks know that it is fall and winter time and flu is around the season, so make sure to get your flu shots. There are 2 locations happening in South Sacramento where we're doing flu shots on November 16th and 30th at Mack Road Valley High Community Center, or you can stop by the Pinnell Community Center on November 27th. And then lastly, I just wanted to invite the entire Sacramento community. Hmong New Year is in season, and we weren't able to do any special presentation, but I just wanted to invite the public to our annual Sacramento Hmong New Year happening next Friday all the way to Sunday at Cal Expo. As you all know, there's over 45,000 Hmong residents in Sacramento County, and it is now Hmong New Year season. So really inviting the community to come out and enjoy some amazing Hmong food, live performances, just cultural traditions. We're going to be tossing balls back and forth at each other. That's how we court in the Hmong culture, tennis ball. So come through. There's going to be lots of just amazing food, good company, culture. It's just going to be a lot of fun. So come through again. That's at Cal Expo. We open at 8 o'clock till 5 o'clock. And you can learn more about that at sacramentohmongnewyear.com. And that's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Look forward to that on Sunday. Would you make sure my office gets that? Yes.
Yeah, there's going to be thousands of people out there. So I'll make sure you get them here.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Jennings?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. Thanksgiving holiday is coming up, and we always look for things for our kids to do during the Thanksgiving holiday because they're home and they're eating that Thanksgiving food and those leftovers and all those things. So we've got a 3-day Thanksgiving soccer camp that's going to be put on by the Greenhaven Soccer Club for kids age 6 through 13. It'll take place at Garcia Bend Park in the Pocket area. That's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, November the 20th, 21st, and 22nd from 9 to 11 a.m. The cost is $125 per person, which includes your T-shirt, and all proceeds go to the Sacramento Food Bank and Food Services and the Kennedy High School Women's Soccer Program. So I hope you got all the information, because it's a great time for those kids to run all that Thanksgiving off and all the food from being off during the holidays. Second thing is the Holiday Toy Drive, also put on by the Greenhaven Soccer Club, and myself and Assembly Member Stephanie Nguyen. We're hosting a drive-through holiday toy drive on Saturday, December the 2nd, from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Greenhaven School of Engineering and Science. It'll take place in the parking lot. That address is 7345 Gloria Drive, and all toys from this will benefit underneath the walls, the group underneath the walls, benefiting the walls. So it'll be a nonprofit organization that'll benefit. So come on out, bring your toys, and they will be going to families that are in need during the holiday season. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Jennings. Councilmember Kaplan.
Thank you, Mayor. Something near and dear to my heart this Friday, Joey's Food Locker, which I helped create as a school board member, located at Natomas High School while in Councilmember Talamante's office, is doing our free turkey drive from noon to 2. My staff and I will be out there volunteering because it's one of my favorite Friday activities, as well as, having donated money and turkeys that Councilmember Talamonte has done as well. It is a fun time. And then Saturday the 18th at the North Natomas Regional Park, we have a fall craft fair from 11 to 3. So come out and join the fun, rain or shine. And the great thing about the regional park, we have an overhang. So even if it's raining, you can stay dry and shop for the holidays at the same time. Mark your calendars. We are bringing in Sunday, December 10th in North Natomas. We are bringing in an ice skating rink that is portable from 11 to 4. Can fit up to 50 people at a time, and it'll be free. It is our Winter Wonderland and Christmas Bazaar. You will have Santa, holiday vendors, activities, live performances, and more. And one thing I forgot to mention about the 18th. Guess what's still going on, council members? From the summer at City Hall, Pink Posse is going to have their outfit outlet. So this will be the third time that they have implemented their proposal that they brought to us during summer at City Hall. Really proud of our youngsters. And then a little bit new, but Santa is coming to all of Natomas. So you can follow in North Natomas, Santa in D1 as we hit North Natomas and Robla over 2 weekends in December. So follow us online for more information.
Great. Thank you, Councilmember Laloie.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Very excited to announce that November 18th from 2 to 5, in collaboration with our IPSI at Hagenwood Community Center, there's going to be a big festival, the Fall Festival. There are going to be games, face paint, music, arts and craft, and I just got notified that our office is going to also collaborate and give away 100 turkeys free to our community members, and there's going to be dinner that night too. So thank you very much. I hope to see everyone there.
Thank you, Councilmember Maple.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple exciting things to announce. Tomorrow, and this is not done by my office, but I am announcing it because it's very exciting. The Sacramento Kings will be hosting a job fair in District 5. So that is tomorrow from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. It'll be located at the Fruit Ridge Community Collaborative. That's 42625 44th Street in Oak Park. And they're going to be hiring for all kinds of opportunities at the Golden One Center and for the Sacramento Kings. So please do stop by. And then my other announcement is we were actually inspired by former Councilmember Angelique Ashby and Karina Talamantes. We know that the Santa stops have been going on for quite some time there in Natomas, and we thought to ourselves, how come there's no Santa that goes to South Sacramento? And so I'm really pleased to be working with the fire department to be doing our first Southside Santa on December 21st. We're going to do 5 different stops in the community: the Oak Park Community Center, Mangan Park, La Familia Counseling Center, Woodbine Park, and Phoenix Park. So please hold that on your calendar. We'll have more details for Southside Santa. Thank you.
Councilmember Talamantes.
It's not really an event, but just a thought. You know, I love the holidays, and I love the turkey giveaways, and Christmas giveaways. But it's just sad that we have to live in a country where people are living paycheck to paycheck and don't have enough food on the table, where we have to do these type of events. So I just had to say that because, you know, I love all the events that we do, and I love decorating my home for Christmas, and just the number of people in the audience, it just, I don't know, it just kind of struck me, so I just had to say it out loud. That it's just sad that we live in a country where people are living paycheck to paycheck, don't have enough money to put food on the table. That's it.
Testimony on items not on the agenda. I want city manager's report. This is Mr. Lara.
Yeah, this is our weekly update on the IMT incident management team relative to our enforcement efforts and safe ground sightings.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Mario Lara, Assistant City Manager. I'll just wait a brief second for them to pull up the slides. Don't have too many. So this is your weekly data report out from your incident management team for the week of November 6th. This first slide simply highlights the 311 requests for service response and the enforcements and the cleanup actions that were taken by the IMT, incident management team. As you can see, there were over 2,000 calls closed with 120 compliance actions and over 214,000 pounds of trash and over 1,700 needles removed from public areas. This slide breaks down that information to a little bit more detail. Here you have a more detailed breakdown that shows, by category. Blocking of sidewalks and critical infrastructure calls for services are prioritized for rapid response. Below, you also have a year-to-date table that shows the figure in comparison with this week's activities. Recall that the incident management team was launched on September 1st. So these year-to-date figures goes back to January, where we have over 39,000 calls have been responded to since the beginning of the year, and we've resulting in more than 42,000 cubic yards of trash being picked up and over 45,000 needles as well. The significant spike this week in the number of calls that were closed out is as a result of closing out calls that were more than 30 days old and that pertain to sites that had either generated multiple calls or that had been previously visited and addressed. So the staff is working on closing out and removing some of the backlog that we have in the system. This slide provides some metrics on the outreach efforts, which resulted, and what I would highlight here, it resulted in 89 individuals, new individuals that were enrolled into the HMIS system, and 25 new referrals to the coordinated access system. I will point out, however, that there is a significant waiting list for individuals and families for shelter placement through the coordinated access system. As of this morning, we had 23 units, 19 tents, and 4 trailers available at our safe camping site at Miller Park. We had no availability at our OEC center, the engagement center, the respite center. And there were a total of about 34 people who were placed at either the OEC or Miller Park in the last week. We think that that probably has to do with the weather turning as well. We're getting a lot of acceptance into these areas.
Wait, can you repeat the Miller Park, please? Sorry. We have 19 beds? Or
as of
tents?
this morning, we had 23 units, 19 tent spots, and 4 trailers. This last slide shows the enforcement or compliance activities, which are summarized here. Impact teams went to almost 50 locations and again closed over 2,000 calls for services. The majority of calls are closed with voluntary compliance, as you can see. There were a couple of instances that required involuntary compliance. Code enforcement teams tagged 290 vehicles and towed 91 vehicles. Park rangers conducted compliance activities and issued 4 citations in the last week while responding to calls in parks and bike trails. That concludes the update for this week. Thank you.
Very much. Very regular part of our meetings. Councilmember Maple?
Yeah, thank you. Mario, I just had a question around, I know we've had a few questions over the last several months on the coordinated access system and whether or not everything's online there. Do you have any update from Sacramento Steps Forward on the status of getting all of the various beds online in coordinated access?
Not since the last update that we provided. I know they're still working on getting all of the city shelter beds are in the coordinated access. They're still working with the county and getting some of their shelter spaces in the system as well. I think we're like at 60 or 70% in the system currently.
So, Councilmember Maple, I'll add on to that too. As part of, as a member of the 4x2, we're going to be asking Sacramento Steps Forward to come join one of our meetings as well to provide us an update, because we're just the middle people.
Awesome. Appreciate that.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Lara. All right. Now we turn to the final item of the evening, and that is public testimony for items not on the agenda. We welcome everyone to participate and to speak for up to 2 minutes. And Madam Clerk, how many speakers do we have?
Thank you, Mayor. I have 30 speaker slips, and I do want to remind members of the public this meeting is being video streamed and can be viewed live or later on the city's website. Members of the public who wish to address the City Council should complete a speaker slip, which can be found at the back of the room. Speaker slips do need to be turned into the clerk prior to the beginning of each item. After the first speaker, we will no longer accept speaker slips in chambers, and the raise hand feature in Zoom will be disabled. Each speaker will have 2 minutes to address the council, and so that everyone has the opportunity to address the council, members of the public are asked to observe the rules of decorum. Council rules of procedure outline decorum expected in chambers and can be found on our website. A copy is in the back of the room and is summarized on the back of the speaker slip. For instance, use of swear words, yelling from the audience, physically threatening conduct, and displays of disrespect are discouraged. The presiding officer will request that a person cease disruptive conduct, and if not immediately stopped, the presiding officer will ask the person to leave the meeting. And parking validations are available for the clerk at the front of the room. So I'm going to read off a few names, and if you don't mind coming to the middle aisle, I'd appreciate it. Maria Gravalda, Gerald Landreth, Franklin M. Lead, Robin Rawl. Maria? Maria?
Yes, I'm trying to put this thing down.
That's as low as it goes.
Okay.
There are speakers, their microphones are on this side.
Okay, before I go up to the mic, I'd like to ask and get assistance from the officer to make sure that I'm going to speak on regarding Sean Lololi, and I want to make sure that he doesn't come and get in my face.
Nobody,
I need to be safe.
nothing's going to happen. You have the just speak, please.
Good evening. Hello, my name is Maria Grijalva. I'm the director of the Latino Information and Resource Center. We are highly concerned regarding the raid at Viva Supermarkets and the pending charges against Sean Lololi. We are the nonprofit organization that reached out to government agencies for help to help the Viva employees. And I want to thank the Benito Juarez Association for referring those workers to me. We have witnessed the results of labor exploitation. We demand an immediate resignation. Viva Supermarkets were raided because of a failure to deliver business records in a timely manner. Please step down, Sean Lololi, for the benefit of all. I know it's hard for Sean Lololi to understand, but everyone is better off with a resignation. If you step down now, you won't miss any more deadlines. You can free up your time to address these charges. If you step down now, you can remove yourself from public scrutiny. You can have more time with your family. That's what I would do, because, you know, the penalties include a prison sentence. And so digging your heels and being defiant and staying in office does not erase years of evidence that the government has. So please, please resign. Thank you.
Jared Landreth. Following Jared is Franklin Lyde. Yeah, Jared is first, and then Franklin.
Okay, well, I'm back here again. I got some positive news, and that is that the ARCO AMPM, they did clear that section out, and it looks way better. So I think the residents out there are happy about it. The ARCO's happy about it. We're not done with that yet, because they're still in the Altos area right there at El Camino, but it's still going down that way where the people there moved over into our neighborhood, and now we've got like 13 more new tents in there, which is making a problem. I have talked to the police about it, and they said that there is, that's coming up is they're going to fix that problem within the next week or two, is what they've told me. And so that will clean up that area a lot better. It's going to look a lot nicer for the neighborhood. And I'm really happy about that. So I just take my hat out for you guys trying to help us out there, and I think the homeowners out there are really going to appreciate that. So I'm just want to end up with that, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Franklin Lead, then Robin Rawl, then Jazit Singh.
Mayor Steinberg, City Council, I greet you. Thank you for having us be able to speak tonight. I'm Franklin M. Lead. I work for the City of Sacramento in the Solid Waste Division. Here with me are many of my coworkers, and we are joined by several other departments tonight. We have thousands outside. We are all part of Local 39, and we are all here unified as one. Disparity is a word that we want the City Council to hear. Our disparity comes from the fact that we're no longer living paycheck to paycheck, but we're struggling to stay afloat due to the economy changing drastically. With inflation skyrocketing, it's hard to get the bare essentials to survive and provide for our families. Healthcare has gone up exponentially in the past few years. Our healthcare costs have gone up in upwards of 16% to be insured, while our wages have remained stagnant. We are greatly underpaid when compared to our Sacramento County counterparts. We call on you, the City Council, to support us as Local 39 goes to the bargaining table. You and the city negotiation team have the power to change our despair into what we hope for, so we can afford to provide for our families. We all hope for a raise that's going to make a difference. We want a raise that's going to make things better for all of us in Local 39. Thank you.
Robin Rawl, Jazit Singh, then Fabrizio Sazo. Robin Rawl. I don't see Robin. Jazit Singh, then Fabrizio Sazo.
Jazjeet is here. Mr. Singh is here.
All right. Can you hand this to someone so they can pass it out to the customer? All right. Good evening, everyone. Mayor, council members. My name is Jazjeet Singh, and I come to you not tonight as a Sacramento City second vice president of the school board, but as a Sacramentan and as a Sikh. I'm actually representing the voice of multiple Sikh gurdwaras, Sikh organizations, and community members. Last week, the community was made aware that a Sikh awareness and appreciation resolution was being prepared and presented by Councilmember Kaplan. We were thankful for this, and this is a welcome communication. However, you can understand my dismay when the language on said proposal made no mention of the 1984 Sikh genocide, unlike last year when the sitting council unanimously passed a resolution affirming said genocide. I offered amendments and provided a copy of last year's resolution. Instead, here we are tonight as the item was completely pulled. This summer, a Sikh leader was assassinated near Vancouver, Canada by Indian agents. The FBI recently visited Sacramento Sikhs to inform them that their lives are at risk. These are facts. The city and region is home to one of the largest Sikh communities in the country. There's nothing controversial about including language that states a fact that nearly 30,000 Sikhs were killed between November 1st and 6th in 1984, mobs executing families door to door using voter lists. It was a genocide. This is fact affirmed by AJR 2, resolution marked the Sikh genocide authored by Assembly Member Jasmeet Bance and passed with 0 opposition. Genocide awareness is a major focal point of the Yuba City Nagar Kirtan, commonly referred as a Sikh parade. You cannot appreciate or bring awareness to us and our contributions to this region without mentioning how or why we are here, that we fled India and found political asylum in cities like Sacramento because a genocide was committed against us. We have survivors here tonight, and we have Sikhs outside who aren't able to enter because they are wearing their kirpan, a Sikh article of faith, many who have left, disheartened by the inability to enter. I carry the hopes and dreams and aspirations of my community. I wear my turban with great pride. I implore you to work with me, work with the Sikh community, and right these wrongs and bring a resolution that was passed last year in 2022 affirming genocide language. Thank you.
Fabrizio Sazo, then Peyton Martin, then Sophia Cardenas.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. In 2020, a group of Sean Laloe's employees came to the Central Labor Council to speak out about acts of wage theft, forced labor, human trafficking, child labor violations, and a litany of other horrific violations in his businesses. We believe them, and so should all of you. In addition to the numerous reported labor violations, Mr. Laloe continues to be shrouded in controversy and scandal. Questions about his residency in District 2 remain because the city's investigation was incomplete and failed to probe into obvious areas. The reported criminal activity at his home, where Sac PD has responded, the repeated code enforcement violations that you've failed to call him out on, wrongful eviction of 8 houses at his properties that violate the city's just cause eviction policy, and the report of destruction of federal evidence. The list goes on and on. It's unprecedented in the history of this city that any council member has been the subject of investigation by multiple federal and state agencies. We understand that no charges have been filed yet, but ask yourselves this. Would state and federal agencies spend years and perhaps thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars without cause? The City Council has a responsibility to hold their own members accountable for ethical concerns and misconduct. Trust is vital in this democracy, connecting citizens to their leaders. Elected officials have to protect this trust through honesty, accountability, and ethical behavior, and failing to do so undermines the core of democracy itself. The City Council should censure Sean Laloe for his misconduct and remove him from any committee assignments. We can't wait for the charges to be formally filed, nor risk that a council office should be used to obstruct justice or retaliate against those that speak out. He should not be allowed to influence any decision that involves federal funding while federal charges are forthcoming. Mr. Laloe has broken the trust and is unfit for office, and you need to resign. And unless this council steps in, that trust may very well be further damaged.
Our next speaker is Peyton Martin and Sophia. Cardenas.
My name is Peyton Martin, business representative with Local 39. As you know, we represent roughly 1,500 city employees across various departments. We've all gathered here tonight to demand that the city invest in us, their workforce. Your employees and our members provide valuable public services and support the communities in a multitude of ways, from providing clean drinking water, solid waste disposal, park maintenance, community response to the unhoused, 311 services, animal care, and the list goes on. With record inflation over the last several years, your employees and our members struggle to buy groceries, gas, and cover the costs of their utilities and rent. Healthcare costs are a real burden for folks already struggling. We find it unacceptable that many of your employees and our members work full-time for the city, but have to carry a second or sometimes a third job just to scrape by. Your employees, and our members have always been there to do what needs to be done for the city. And they are here tonight to demand that the city recognize the essential work that they've done and what they will continue to do by investing in them. After all, an investment in the city's workforce is an investment in the communities which we all serve, the reason that we're all here. We demand meaningful support from the City Council as we move forward. Thank you.
Here is Sophia Cardenas, then Rashawn Reed, then Wendell Brown.
Hi, Council. My name's Sophia Cardenas. I am as Sacramento as they come. I actually had 2 birthday parties at the Iceland Ice Rink. I went to school here in Sacramento. I grew up in Sacramento. And I'm here to ask that Councilmember Sean Laloe please step down from his role as City Council. Here's why. Laloe has I'm talking to everybody else, but Laloe has broken the necessary trust between those in Sacramento who govern you and those in Sacramento who are governed, the rest of us. When Sean Laloe broke that trust with us, he also damaged that trust that we have with all of the rest of our council members.
If Sean Loloe doesn't step down, we ask that you, as his colleagues, investigate him, launch an ethics investigation against him. Having any sort of criminal charge, but much less the egregious allegations of human trafficking, forced labor, which is outlawed in the U.S., child labor, that's also outlawed in the U.S., and wage theft. We're uncertain about his residency in District 2. He has likely interfered with federal and state investigations, including destroying documents, allegedly, and intimidation. And he consistently disrespects constituency groups' concerns with topics from homelessness to sexual assault. Even just now, he was smirking at people who are asking you to defend democracy. And so I will step away, but you need to step down.
Here is for Sean Reed. Sean Reed, then Wendell Brown, then Mac Worthy, then Sean Raycraft.
How you doing? I wanted to speak on the need for transparent processes for business owners in Sacramento. And again, I want to speak on the need for transparent processes for business owners in Sacramento. And if, ladies and gentlemen of the City Council and esteemed members of our community and respected officials, I, Rashawn Reed, stand before you today, not just as an individual, but as a representation of hardworking local business owners who form the backbone of our community. Our city thrives because of our countless entrepreneurs who invest our time, money, and passions into creating businesses that contribute to the vibrancy and prosperity we all cherish. However, today, I wish to address this matter of great concern, one that affects the very foundation of entrepreneurial spirit, the licensing and permitting procedures that are meant to guide and support our local businesses. Myself, as well as other local business owners who play an integral role in economic growth and development in the city, have voiced our concerns about the lack of clear and transparent instructions regarding licensing and permitting procedures. The current system, as it stands, is plagued by ambiguity and a lack of uniformity, allowing for favoritism and, dare I say it, even sabotage amongst various city departments. In this age of technology and our information, it is disheartening to see that our local entrepreneurs are forced to send emails just to inquire about the basic instructions and fees. Not only slows down the process, but creates an environment where misinformed information can easily spread, leading to unnecessary setbacks for our local businesses. Some setbacks have been even going for years. What our community needs, what our local business owners deserve, is a system that is transparent, efficient, and equitable. We call upon the City Council to address these issues and implement clear, user-friendly system that provides straightforward instructions and a comprehensive fee schedule.
Thank you for your comments. Your time is complete. Our next speaker is Wendell Brown, then Mac Worthy, then Sean Raycraft.
Mayor, council, city manager, my name is Wendell Brown. I work for the Recycling and Solid Waste Division. And I want to take you back to 2020, spring of 2020. There was a call to arm by all essential workers. A call to arm, all essential workers, which means you have to make a decision. COVID was out, fear was in the air, dismay, confusion, shopping all over the place. So our employees was deemed as essential employees. They made the decision to show up to work. That whole weekend, all you heard was death, an unknown attacker. We don't know if it's through the air. We didn't know if it's body transferred by bodily fluids, but we knew there was a great risk if we went out. And we showed up to work. All of our employees showed up to work. They couldn't shelter in place. They could not shelter in place. Their families was at home, but they left their families. They came out anyway, and they did their job. You know, COVID has changed the world in the way in which business is done. But what it didn't do, it didn't change recycling and solid waste. We showed up every day, every week, every month, every year of the pandemic, and we worked. And it's not the fact that we picked up trash, recycled, and organics. You guys may have missed the value of what we were doing, but we brought a sense of normalcy to the community. Because when we showed up, guess what? That little kid that had been locked in the house, he came out, seen the truck, waved, we tooted the horn, and they smiled. And the parents were very proud and happy to see their kids smiling. And we did that the entire pandemic, and that goes a long ways. So we're not just picking up trash, recycling, organics.
Your comments,
like
your
I
time
said.
is complete.
Oh, that
Thank
2
you.
minutes went so quick.
Macworthy. Raycraft, then Crystal Sanchez.
People, we're in a situation here that pertaining to this man here. Now, that district has a problem, and that's within the charter. Now, that could have been brought to you, and I'd encourage you to stay and meet with me and your attorney. I was in the business here for 50 years. Now, of all the time that I was there, not one black business of grocer, that's when the Greeks owned the shopping center. Shopping center on a Rio Linda and Grant, Cassie's. Now, we have a problem here to say this man should step down. I would say not. Ride it out and go to court. Some things here that bothers me very highly. We're going to have some very problems. The labor union, just to tell him about fees, the labor union said they're not getting that money. It's a problem here. And then you want to cancel this man's business. It's sad, people. I saw the business in front of me in Oak Park, $360,000 to put them out of business. You don't have to go to those stores. Go somewhere else to shop. Child labor. Look and see that Chinese and Japanese people have been working kids ever since it's been business in America. Nobody said a word. I worked as a ply man, hand plied a mule on my daddy's farm. Nobody said a word. Families. If the family working, you don't have to pay workers' compensation out. Theory of philosophy and what you do on the job, this man have authority to call that. You got to have the law involved here instead of stepping down. You may be able to help us open the charter up over there, and they won't. The city administration won't choose a person that don't live there. Allen could have done it, he didn't. But you got a chance to open that up, and it's in the charter where the problem. Del Paso Heights to South Sacramento. This city, they open that up and get somebody to come there and stay there.
Thank you for your comments. Your time is complete. So, next speaker is Sean Raycraft, and then Crystal Sanchez. I don't see Sean. Crystal? And then following Crystal is Elizabeth Uribe.
Hey, Council. I came here. I missed the memo that we weren't having a city manager graduation thing today. What I'm hearing, though, and I'm really glad I stayed, because what I'm hearing from the audience, from the people outside, is struggle. We are struggling. We are struggling to pay our bills. We are struggling to eat. We are struggling to pay rent. And what happens when those things happen is people end up on the streets. We have thousands and thousands of people on the streets. What your IMT report fails to tell you guys is that those long wait lists are not putting anybody inside. We have thousands of people every night calling me, messaging me. I'm being raped out here. I don't want to die out here. What are you guys doing? Like, you guys are detached from what is actually happening. You're hearing reports, but you're not hearing from the people. And it's getting, like, bad. Sean. I'm not going to address anybody. I've written multiple people in here. We had a woman, what they're not telling you about the towing, for instance. This woman's trailer was taken. She was 9 months pregnant. She had twins. They took her trailer with 8-week-old twins. They're in a tent right now. Winter's coming, guys. What are you guys going to do? Winter's coming. Miller Park can't function when winter is here. It shuts down every year, right? So what are we going to do? You guys need to get a hold of this. This is out of control. This is really out of control. And for the people behind me, read my shirt, keep organizing.
Next speaker is Elizabeth, and then Mary Tapple.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council folks. My name is Elizabeth Uribe. I'm an integrated waste equipment operator at the City of Sacramento. As you know, Local 39 has rejected the city's contract proposal. The city funds what it values. You're able to take money from the general fund and put it towards the Golden One Center when the other revenue streams fell short, but seemingly incapable of offering us an appropriate raise. It's time to make your workers a priority. I'm sure you remember the devastating storms of last winter. As you know, when the fit hit the Shan, it was your city workers out there cleaning up the mess. Our workers deserve better. Sacramento deserves better.
That's right.
Here is Mary Tapple, then Rev, then Tamika Lacluse.
Okay, I hope you'll bear with me. I was one of the people who couldn't hear herself think very well with the pounding. I was sitting over there and didn't want to move for a while until later. But anyway, hello again, Mayor and members of the City Council and City staff. The first thing I want to mention tonight is I happen to be yet another person who first learned to ice skate at Iceland, and I've helped so much with some of their restoration or just a recovery from the fire of long ago and so on. Thank you for your very much needed earlier vote for Iceland, for all of our community. The second thing, I want to thank all of you who had for your assistance and support for the very needed public health and safety cleanup along the Sacramento Northern Bike Trail. It's really changed the feeling of people out there. Well, a lot of community groups now are making some progress on their cleanups and trying to reassert the public's right to fair and safe recreation, as well as transportation and a host of other things needed for their mental and their physical health. And then I'm going to make a point if I get to it tonight. I may not, but I may be showing some pictures of the Sacramento Northern Bike Trail that hasn't been cleaned up yet. Basically, I better skip to that so it's not so confusing. I feel this picture being an amalgam, is it going to show? I forgot the okay, this picture is an amalgam of some sites because I don't want it overcrowded, particularly with garbage shortly. But anyone who is a sympathetic unhoused person, they are better off there than in a place such as this is the current RT light rail station environs. And then there are a bunch of other ones I have that show their...
For your comments, your time is complete. Okay. Our next speaker is Rev, then Tamika Lacluse, then Jackson Yoder.
Hello, City Council. I hate even coming here about myself, but I'm pretty sure I'm in a District 5 now, just got an office. And I've been harassed by a friend of yours, actually, Steinberg. He always throws your name great. I know the mayor, I don't care who you know. I just know I got a problem. My window got broken on my limo, my office, vandalized, everything just going on. Sheriff's kind of disrespectful to me. I already had a problem with the PD, like the guy sitting over there playing on his cell phone, taking off of my phone out of this room. I serve the community. I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing. So in some area of life, I would like to get some assistance. I would like to be able to speak to someone about the things I'm dealing with and I'm tolerating. I'm not a violent person. I speak out when I feel like it. Say what I got to say when I say it. Because I want to help make a difference. And all these people back here are struggling not to get on these streets where I serve the streets. And some of these people have had recent jobs, but now they got a nice tent out there and they just subject to getting their tent snatched up just like a normal homeless person. Some people just struggling out here, and I get it, I'm struggling. You're not struggling so much, Mr. Mayor, and all you city councilmen and everybody else, but many people in the city is. And I don't want to see this just keep collapsing around you and y'all looking like y'all the real victim of it all, because I know that you can help if you step up. I've given you my number, Mr. Steinberg, and I pray one day that you'll actually pick up the phone and call 916-842-8052. I don't bite. I'm just aggressive with what I want to do. Because I'm tired of hearing all these sad stories that are pulling up on campsites, and they just like, Rev, you know, I shouldn't be out here like this, but I'm praying for a better tomorrow. I'm trying to do business for the homeless people. I'm trying to help people through God's children lives matter because they matter. It's not just a black thing, white, Chinese, Mexican, Filipino, nobody. God has his eyes on children of his. And that's the ones that I want to really see shine through. So I pray for everybody in here.
Thank
God
you for
bless
your comments. Your time is complete. Tamika LaCruz. I don't see Tamika. Jackson Yoder. Following Jackson is Guillermo Moraldo.
Imagine, council, that instead of being founded in 1850, Sacramento was founded in the 14th century BCE, a city older than Beijing, Delhi, and any city in Europe. Now imagine that there aren't just 500,000 people living in that area, but over 1.6 million people living there instead. Now imagine that the fascist ethno-state that governs every aspect of your life tells you to flee south of Highway 50 or you will be bombed indiscriminately. With nearly 20% of all buildings in the city completely razed to the ground, you are forced to leave behind the majority of your city's cultural, political, and economic infrastructure. The school your children went to, the religious centers where you communed with God and your peers, the hospital where your mother gave birth to you, the apartment complex where your grandparents lived, all of it is now rubble. No matter where you go, you will struggle to find food, water, fuel, electricity, cell, and internet reception, and reliable shelter. You can stay in this hellish landscape, your home, and await imminent death and full-scale war, or flee with little to no confidence that you will return again or reach anywhere safe. It shouldn't matter if Gaza was founded 3,500 years ago or 35 years ago, if it had a population of 2.3 million or 230,000. You should care. All of us should care. You know my face by now. You know that when I see my Palestinian friends being ethnically cleansed from their homes and living at the beck and whim of the Israeli army, that I cannot help but draw a parallel to the routine sweeps that this city subjects its homeless residents to, or the threat of police brutality, mass incarceration, and murder of our black residents. From Sacramento to Palestine, every single person deserves to live safely without fear of harassment, harm, or death. And so, with this international solidarity in mind, I ask that you consider the packets that I have provided for you tonight. Richmond, California, Cudahy, California, Providence, Rhode Island, and Easton, Pennsylvania have passed or proposed ceasefire resolutions calling for, at a bare minimum, an immediate end to violence between Israel and Hamas.
Thank you for your comments. Your time is complete. Thank you for your comments. Your time is complete. Please take your seat. Thank you for your comments. Your time is complete. Please take your seat. You have exceeded your speaking time. Please take your seat. By continuing to speak, you are disrupting the orderly conduct of the meeting and are now in violation of Chapter 5 of the Council Rules of Procedure. If you do not stop, you will be ordered to leave the meeting. Do you understand this?
It is time for us to be the generation
Mayor?
that finally ends this occupation, this apartheid, this genocide.
Sir, thank you for your comments.
Our next speaker is Guillermo Moral Rio, then Alfonso Caro.
Sí, buenas noches.
Good afternoon.
Gracias por esta presentación que dieron ustedes.
Thank you for this meeting.
Ustedes, gracias a Dios, tienen un trabajo.
Thank God you have a job.
Gracias a su estudio,
Thanks
a
to
su
your
conocimiento y a su esfuerzo
to
que
your
han
knowledge, to your
buscado
efforts.
este caso. Como todas esas personas
Like all these
trabajamos.
people, we all work.
Y nada más quería decirles
And I just wanted to
una
tell you
cosa.
one thing.
Nosotros somos seres humanos.
We're humans.
Necesitamos que
We
nos
need
cuiden
to take care of us.
todos ustedes, todos los
All of
departamentos de gobierno.
in your position as a government official.
Y si ustedes en su gabinete
If you in your position
tienen una persona
have a person
que no es
that is not,
para que ustedes estén con esta persona,
that you don't have a personal assistant,
ustedes decidan
you
que
decide.
el gobierno de Estados Unidos
So the government of the United
no
States
perdona ningún delito.
doesn't
Bendito
forgive
sea
any
Dios.
crime.
Bendito sea Dios.
Thank God.
Nosotros
Us,
tenemos
we
la facilidad
have the facility
de buscar
to look-
nuestras vidas.
to look for,
Y tenemos
work.
derecho como seres
And we have
humanos
a right as human beings
tener un
to
poquito de
a little
control
bit of
para
control
nuestras familias.
for our families.
Y saben que en este mundo
And you know what, in this world,
cualquier persona que
anyone
comete un delito
that commits a crime
por ley tiene
by
que
law
ser castigado,
should be punished,
incluso
including-
la luz divina de todo el mundo
including God's light.
está pagando uno poco a poco lo que hizo.
We are all being paid. We will all pay one way or another.
Pagamos taxis
We pay taxes
como seres humanos.
as human beings.
Gracias a los taxis estamos nosotros teniendo
Thanks
nuestros
to
hogares,
taxes, we
ustedes
have
su
our
trabajo.
homes. You have your homes.
Entonces, gracias
And
por esta
thank you for this,
por lo que están haciendo.
for the work
¿ok?
that you're doing.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. And Pravina Singh.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
Mayor, buenas
Mayor.
tardes. Consejeros,
Council members.
cuando María pidió un policía por un lado,
When Maria asked for a police escort right now,
es mejor que se lo tomen en serio.
it's important that you take it seriously.
Ustedes no tienen idea
You have no idea
quién es este hombre
who is
que
this
está
man
como consejero del Distrito
who
2.
is sitting here as a council member.
No tienen ni la menor
You
idea.
have no idea,
Inclusive mi compañero que me antecedió le tiene un miedo.
including the person that commented before me has a fear of him.
Tiene el descaro de reírse y
Has
huye.
the descarado to walk away, the no face to walk away, but walks away, sorry.
¿Cuál es el mensaje
What is the
que
message
está mandando la
that
ciudad de
that
Sacramento?
the city of Sacramento is sending?
Que en esta ciudad
That in this city,
los consejeros de la
the
ciudad
council members,
porque tienen dinero,
because they have money,
pueden estar arriba de la ley.
they can be above the law.
Ese hombre nos
This
amenazó.
man threatened us.
Por eso estoy hablando aquí
That's
en
why
este
I'm
momento.
speaking here this moment.
Tan peligroso
He is
es
so dangerous.
que con una sonrisa
That
aún
with
se
one
dirige hacia
smile,
nosotros.
he abuses
Así de
us.
peligroso.
That's how dangerous he is.
Les hizo una invitación
He made an
a
invitation
comer
to
pavo.
eat
Piénsensela
turkey.
2 veces.
If he invites you to eat turkey, think twice.
Su tienda ha sido, sus
His store
5 tiendas han sido
5 stores have been
llegó los distintos departamentos de la ley
have
federal.
been raided by different agencies.
Sus carnes
His meats
están podridas.
are rotted.
Las personas no les daba break
The persons didn't receive break at work,
y los amenazaba
and he would threaten them
con deportarlos.
with deportation.
Y no estoy hablando mentiras,
And I'm
todo
not
está en
talking
récord
lies.
con
This
las
is all on
investigaciones
records.
federales.
This is all by investigators have recorded this.
¿Dónde pasa esto?
Where does this happen?
Solamente en la ciudad de Sacramento.
Only in the city of Sacramento.
Bienvenido, su dinero.
Welcome.
Aquí está,
Welcome
aquí
to your
trabaja
money.
su
This is
dinero.
how your money is at
No hay
work.
problema, pueden
No
quebrar la
problem.
ley.
You may break the law.
Parece que
It appears that
nosotros tenemos 6 años
we have about 6 years
luchando por los derechos
working
civiles
for the civil rights
y los derechos humanos de
and the
las
human
personas en la
rights
ciudad.
of people in Sacramento.
El mayor nos conoce,
The
ha
mayor
estado en
knows
todas
us.
nuestras reuniones.
We have been in meetings with you.
Aquí hay una persona que habla,
Here is a person
que,
that speaks,
que está ayudando
That is helping.
a las personas que no tienen hogar.
that is helping someone without a home.
vamos a decir el término homeless,
let's use
que
the
no
word
tiene
term,
hogar.
a homeless.
Por una parte dice esto,
In one part,
por otra parte
in another part,
compra edificios.
in one part is buying homes, and another part
En las
renting
partes
them out.
donde hay más crimen.
And he's buying them where there's
luego los
more
va a vender.
crime, and then he's going to resell them.
¿Y qué está haciendo? Está contribuyendo
And is he
al problema que tenemos en la
He's
ciudad.
contributing to the problem that we have in the city.
¿Le importa a las gentes?
Does he care about the people?
Ya miramos que no.
We see that he doesn't.
Sé que me van a odiar por esto
I
muchos.
know that he's going to hate me for this.
En esta ciudad
In this city,
hace falta
we need
no solamente
not only
consejeros que tengan los
council
apellidos
members
latinos,
that have Latino
pero
last
que no
names,
están ayudando al
Thank you
latino
for your comments. Your
verdaderamente.
time is
that are
complete.
helping
Esto
people.
va para todos.
This goes
Échenle
for your
ganas.
comments. Thank you so much.
Échenle ganas.
Our next speaker is Pravina Singh. Your time is complete. Our next speaker is Pravina Singh, then Monica Madrid.
Good evening, Council, Mayor Steinberg. I appreciate you considering our words today regarding the Sikh Awareness Resolution. My name is Pravina Singh. I'm a second-year medical student at the UC Davis School of Medicine and a member of Jakarta Movement Sacramento Missile, and also a follower of the Sikh faith. The Sikh community in California, with a large concentration in the greater Sacramento area, is the largest Sikh community in the United States and one of the largest ones in the entire world outside of Punjab. While bringing more awareness to our community is needed, it would be an injustice to simultaneously erase awareness of an entire genocide of our people. I won't get into the grisly details, but it is important to know why such a huge historical event for our community is so important. Tens of thousands of Sikhs were killed in India in the first week of November in 1984. They were systematically targeted using registries, known Sikh households were wiped out, and mobs roamed the streets and public transportation looking for Sikhs. Police were told not to interfere at best and joined in at worst. Entire towns were left without a single male resident, known as widow colonies today. Even in the diaspora, we grew up seeing the effects that this had on our parents and grandparents. The targeting of Sikhs continues to this day, with prominent Sikh activists having just been assassinated on Canadian soil not too long ago. Activists all over California, including in the Sacramento area, have been warned by the FBI regarding threats to our safety. In summary, while raising awareness to the community is important, you cannot achieve this while withholding awareness of such an impactful event in our history. There can be no Sikh awareness without acknowledging the 1984 Sikh genocide, and with this in mind, we look forward to working with the Council towards passing an awareness resolution that acknowledges the Sikh genocide in the coming weeks. Also, much love to everyone out here organizing for living fair wages. It's important that our patients have living wages, and it's a big part of public health.
Next speaker is Monica Madrid, then Carolina Flores.
First, I want to say shout out to all the workers for Local 39. Give them a contract. We need fair wages here. The rent is too damn high. But I'm actually here to speak on a different item, and it sounds like since Councilmember Lololi doesn't want to resign, I am demanding the council take action. We just heard from an immigrant who was speaking about his abuse, that how he was treated as a worker and had immigration threatened to be called on him. That's unacceptable, especially when we have immigrants on our city council. This should not be happening when you have somebody who's was undocumented on the city council, and you have another one threatening undocumented people to call immigration on them. That's ridiculous. And then the fact is that you guys denied a couple months ago a tenant anti-harassment ordinance because you don't think that this is a problem. Well, this person right here, he violated code enforcement in his own rental units. He wrongfully evicted and contributed to the homeless crisis by evicting 8 tenants illegally, but yet you guys aren't harassing tenants aren't, you have a person on the council who's harassing tenants, yet you don't want to pass a tenant anti-harassment ordinance. I think that this is something that the mayor needs to push forward with, that tenant anti-harassment ordinance, since you do have the power, Mayor, and you have been not doing that. So please, do something about this. Take action.
Our next speaker is Carolina Flores. Carolina? Then Nikki, then Jay Eldon, then Jimmy Anderson.
Muy buenas noches, estoy muy agradecida de poder decirle que lo que necesitamos hacer. Ustedes como concilio tienen un miembro aquí que ha violado la ley, ha hecho actos criminales, ha ponido mucha opresión, presura a nuestra gente por la idioma, por ser indocumentados, por ser mexicanos, por ser pakistaní, por ser de otras tribus que no los reconozco a todos. Pero es importante que ustedes saquen a este hombre. Este hombre ha violado a nuestra población. Este hombre ha violado a nuestra comunidad y nuestra cultura. You have insulted our people by oppressing them, taking their wages away from them, threatening them. Don't shake your head. We got too many witnesses against you. I'm sorry.
Please address the
Es
full
un
city
fraude
council.
a esta comunidad. ¿Ustedes son parte de esta fraude? ¿Ustedes van a exigir que esto pueda continuar? ¿Ustedes van a ser los que van a enforzar a esta persona que sigue así como un criminal? Tú y tú y tú y tú, tú y tú. Cada uno de ustedes están responsables de que él todavía está representando al Distrito 2. ¿Por qué? Porque ustedes no han hecho nada. ¿Ustedes piensan que el público no va a venir contra ustedes porque no están haciendo nada? Ya el gobierno federal, los del Estado, lo están investigando. ¿Piensas que lo están investigando nomás por de chiripada? No, hay mucho crédito a los abusos que él ha hecho. Abusos contra la humanidad, contra trabajadores, contra indocumentados. There has been a lot of violations that have been done by this council person that you are permitting to represent District 2. How dare you violate the community of District 2? How dare you support criminal action by the City Council? This
Thank you
is
for
a
your
stain
comments. Your
against
time
you.
is complete.
As long as he's here, it's
Thank you for your
stain that
comments. Your time is complete. Our next speaker is Nikki, then Jay.
No, please, next speaker.
Our next speaker is Nikki.
No shutting out from the audience.
Our next
We're
speaker
gonna be
is
asked to
Nikki,
leave.
and then Jay Eldon. If you have the same comments in English that you just spoke in Spanish, then we can take those comments. Typically, it's reserved if you need a translator.
It's against the law for you to stop
Please proceed.
me from
I'll
talking.
put 2 minutes
You're violating
back on.
my civil rights.
You have 2 more minutes. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was the clerk who granted that.
As an elder and a grandmother and having family and friends that live in District 2, I'm here to say that I have heard stories about people being threatened. I've heard stories about people being stalked. They've had people that have been followed in the night, single women, single men that have been followed at night, and they have had threatened. They have been threatened. People have come up and told them, you better shut your mouth if you know what's good for you. You better not do what we expect you to do. Well, these are elderly people. These are people that have very little money and very little power in this community. And this was allowed to happen. I'm telling you, as other people have told you, this is actually happening by this man, this person that is representing District 2. You have to stop him. You have to stop that horrible, monstrous behavior against our community. And I suggest that you do it now, because the longer that you wait, you are supporting his behavior. You are supporting a criminal that is going to stain your reputation, not mine, your reputation. Thank you very much, and do something quickly.
Our next speaker is Nikki. Next speaker is Nikki, then Jay Eldon, then Jimmy Anderson.
Hey, y'all. My name's Nikki. I am ongoingly concerned with the issue of homelessness here in our city. But first, I want to just take some time to have solidarity. Shout out to the local that's out here, the coming here for your basic needs. Literally related to the issue of homelessness, knowing we know for every one person we get off the street, 3 more fall into homelessness. We know that's because of a lack of living wages, no ability to keep up with enormous rents, no ability to control landlords in how they treat tenants. And these are all sort of issues that y'all do have the capacity to take on, and I encourage you to fight with these workers for a good contract when it comes. I also have to take the time as a person with Punjabi heritage to ask that you take these folks seriously in their request to honor, to acknowledge the 1984 genocide. This is this is the reality of people's lives, and we need to be honoring people and raising awareness in the way that awareness matters to them. And so when folks say that, take them seriously and do something different. And that, brings me back to, this issue of homelessness. We have, for a long time, worried about what other people think about what is happening for our homeless population. Who's calling in? Who's complaining? This and that. And for years, that's what we've really built policy around. And what that's done is just left us with this increase in homelessness, an increase in the stigma around experiencing homelessness. Folks are judged so harshly. People don't even feel like they're a part of a greater Sacramento community. They've been pushed so far to the edges, and that really, it's unfortunate. It needs to change. I know I'm out of time. There's not enough time in the world to talk about the suffering that people have experienced at the hands of this.
Thank you for your comments. Jay Eldon. Following Jay is Jimmy, then Robert Longer.
I'm here to talk about the sweeps of homeless camps in Sacramento. The police that sweep homeless camps have been granted unlimited overtime. There's at least 8 sweeps each day, as we saw in the presentation earlier. In the city of Sacramento, people are being swept multiple times in 1 week. During the summer, this council reviewed a map of the city and looked at critical infrastructure and other ordinances and this council took issue with the fact that there weren't any spaces for homeless people to camp. The council wanted to correct this while also demanding compliance from camps. The 24-hour notices specifically cite anti-camping ordinances. This is not what the council ever discussed happening. We are enforcing camping. Thousands of homeless people are shouldering their belongings from place to place. People are falling ill and dying. And so many disabled elders and veterans are facing a coming winter without shelter. The city is actively traumatizing the homeless through the sweeps. The sweeps are violent. The impact of displacing a homeless person is physically and psychologically abusive. No amount of politeness and decorum between officers and homeless can change that. I see the city as taking its damaged relationship with the homeless communities and obliterating it. How can you expect people to willingly accept services that the city offers when the city is causing so much harm to them? Not to mention DCR only offers shelters leading up to the sweep and stuff like that. People call 211, get on wait lists. We saw the wait list numbers. I have taken a video of DCR explaining that to a disabled woman, she was denied from shelter because they do not have accessible spaces. Anyone who's homeless and disabled has nowhere to go in terms of shelter. In honesty, council, these actions are clearly immoral. The city is violating human and civil rights of the homeless in Sacramento. I demand you to stop the brutal practice of sweeps. Sweeps are only making the poorest more poor and unjustly punishing people for being homeless. Sweeps kill people in Sacramento.
Thank you for your comments. Our next speaker is Jimmy Anderson, then Robert Longer. So Jimmy, Robert, then Cami Sonata. I have 8 more speakers.
Hello, I'm coming to you guys to directly ask for a program to talk to and distribute the calls of SAC PD and Sheriff to distribute a transparent and able to see what's going on in our streets. Here's an example. If something happens with the police and sheriff and we see them in our community, we should be able to have a database to look up and see what's going on and making sure our public is safe. To having an area just like CHP does, it's cad.chp.gov. You can actually look at incidents and what's going on and find out where it's going on. SAC PD should issue and give the public a way to see what's going on in their community. Because I have myself, as a First Amendment activist, I go out there and film police, and I have been arrested by SAC PD and have been processed through the Sac County Jail, and they threw it out in court because it was through the interest of justice, and we need to a way for people to understand and what's going on in their community. That's what I can say today, and thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Robert Longer, then Cami Sanada, then Narveen Kaur. Robert?
Good evening, Mayor Steinberg and members of the council. My name is Robert Longer. I'm a member of the Communications Workers of America, CWA, as well as an executive board member of the Sacramento Central Labor Council. First, I'd like to say I stand in solidarity with the SIC community, as well as Local 39 city workers. My comments here tonight are directed at Councilmember Lololi. Unfortunately, I can't look him in the eye right now as he's chosen to step out. As you've heard before from a couple of other speakers, Councilmember Lololi has exhibited really callous, action by way of his actions towards workers, numerous labor violations, including human trafficking, forced labor, child labor, and wage theft. These are serious allegations which the federal government, multiple agencies, in a coordinated, years-long, hundreds of thousands or multi-million-dollar effort closed several of his supermarkets. In addition to that, he represents, whether you like it or not, or we like it or not, rather, District 2 and the city of Sacramento, and by proxy, this council and all of you. So I'm asking you tonight, given that he has stated, actually, that he's not interested in stepping down, that this council take action. And so I add my voice to the numerous others and asking you that, council members, that you lead in an ethics investigation and that you launch that against him and that action be taken immediately and swiftly. We have to repair the trust of the city residents, I'm a city resident myself, in their elected leaders, in this body as well. And when we have all those allegations, including all the other things you've heard that just add on to the stack, it's really just imperative that, and I think should go without saying, but we're asking you, and I'm saying it anyway, that you take action immediately. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Cami Sanada, then Narveen Kaur.
Thank you, board members, Honorable Mr. Mayor as well. My name is Cami Sahota. I'm part of the SIC community. My family arrived in the country over 100 years ago. My ancestors fled India then due to persecution and genocide committed by then British India. Those are still open wounds today. And 1984 is no different. It weighs heavy in our hearts. Not a day goes by where Sikhs from around the world are still suffering from those traumatic events. The Indian government still continues to use violence to silence the Sikh community, as it was recently proven under the investigation of the Five Eyes intelligence community. That includes the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, and New Zealand, all 5 Anglo-Saxon communities. You have the biggest sword in your hand, which is your pen. You can set the history straight by reaffirming the Sikh resolution passed unanimously by the City Council last year, which clearly acknowledges the 1984 genocide. Thank you.
The next speaker is Narveen Kaur, then Charles Faust, then Sunny Kaur.
Good evening, council members and mayor. My name is Narveen Kaur, and I'm from Sacramento. Thank you for coming today and contributing to conversations surrounding Sikh Awareness and Appreciation Month and the Sikh resolution. Oftentimes when people hear about the Sikh community, there may be a couple points that come to mind, such as the number of hate crimes that our community has experienced after September 11 and continues to till this day, to our ancestors having first migrated from Punjab at the turn of the 20th century in search for better opportunities for their families, while adding beautifully to diversity within America. Although these points are true, they do not begin to paint the complete picture in capturing who we are as a people, our rich history and traditions, along with bringing light to the devastation and traumas of our community's past, such as the 1984 Sikh genocide in India. The Sikh community is both a minority within India and America, which can make it difficult for our voices, stories, and truths to be heard and represented at tables of influence. During September of 2019, the California State Legislature designated the month of November to be Sikh Awareness and Appreciation Month. Thus, we as the Sikh community have hopes going forward that the municipal government within Sacramento will continue to collaborate, learn, and hear firsthand from the Sikh community regarding resolutions, programs, and discussions. Thank you for your time.
for your comments. Charles Faust.
I'm sorry, did you say Sunny?
Charles Faust. Following Charles is Sunny Kaur. Then Chad Frost.
Good evening. I want to just say that I agree with everything that Crystal and Jay were talking about, and that it's worthwhile considering as the coordinated access system and coordinated entry system come more online and become more available, that a lot of the shelters that you guys have don't actually fulfill Boise standards. People sleeping in tents outside doesn't count. So if there's, say, 1,200 beds and 500 of them don't count, you still can't sweep people. So just keep that in mind. You need actual indoor shelters before you decide that you're going to keep moving people around. And then I didn't even know Crystal was here, and I was messaging her about some of the stuff and the violence that women see when they're sleeping outside in tents. So something that needs to be considered, that the people sleeping outside in these tents are having a real hard go of it, and we need to protect people better. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Sunny Kaur, then Chad Frost.
Good evening, Council and Mayor Steinberg. There is no Sikh awareness without recognizing the 1984 Sikh genocide. The 1984 Sikh genocide refers to the tragic events in India where thousands of Sikhs were killed in anti-Sikh riots after the assassination of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. The violence fueled by political and communal tensions resulted in a widespread of atrocities against the Sikh community, with many facing displacement and loss. My mother is still waiting for her sister. It's been 39 years. Imagine that, pain and trauma, a parent not knowing how or where their child is, or a sibling waiting for their best friend to come home. The events of '84 remain a painful chapter in Indian history, highlighting the need for justice, reconciliation, and efforts to prevent communal violence. We have to understand the importance of acknowledging this historical tragedy for a comprehensive understanding of the Sikh identity. Recognizing the 1984 Sikh genocide is crucial in fostering awareness, promoting justice, and preventing future atrocities. This is essential for the Sikh community and society at large to move forward with compassion, unity, and a commitment to human rights. There is no Sikh awareness without recognizing the 1984 Sikh genocide. My community, the Sikhs, are very peaceful people. However, the Indian government abroad is trying to paint a different picture. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. I have two more speakers, Chad Frost, then Angela Grivalda.
Good evening. My name is Chad Frost. I work in the building department. I've been with the city of Sacramento for 8 years. And how can I say, I'm going to fumble my way through this now. We need your help. You have a lot of skilled individuals. I work for the building department. I heard a lot of things talked about tonight about funding, money, fees. But you know, I work for one of your departments that generates millions of dollars on any given year. And we could really use some help and bring that back to our members. I can speak from my own experience. This year I'm going to probably pay out almost $8,000 to $9,000 in health insurance. I make $78,000 a year. My wife that worked at the county, if I was to take a job at the county, I would get a pay raise. I forget what, I would, half as much, and just in benefits. Sorry, I'm just a little bit nervous. I don't get up and speak in a public forum very often. But let me tell you what I do on a daily basis. I help homeowners and all businesses in the city get their needs met. I heard a lot about homelessness tonight. Well, you know what? My department, we deal on a daily basis accessory dwelling units and getting those constructed as quickly and fast as possible and getting those through our system and out. Trust me when I say my coworkers and I, we are not looking to be roadblocks. However, because of the pay and benefit packages, I have started strongly consider taking my skills elsewhere. like the county or the state where it has a better benefits package, because there's just some that needs I need for myself and my family. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Our final speaker is Angela Grijalva.
Thank you. Thank you. It's Angela Grijalva. So before we start my time, I'd like to do a little bit point of business. When I wasn't able to raise my hand and speak on prior issues, especially about the business, the fees. And so I'm not sure if that's something the city needs to look into about the ability for repeat raising the hands, but it wasn't available to me, so I wasn't afforded the opportunity to comment on that agenda item. Okay, so the other part is I will be saying this in Spanish and in English. So I have come to the city council before to report being accosted by council member Sean Laloli. I had never met the man before. I knew he had some dealings with my mother on a professional level. He had attempted to sue her in attempts to silence her work organizing the labor workers, and he made a threat that he would not stop to pursue her when he could not seek and obtain relief through the courts. Both of his SLAPP motions having been dismissed by the court at the trial court level and the appellate level. So he made good on that threat when he accosted me. And he pursued me throughout the event. I'd never met him before. He recognized my last name, Grijalva, obviously. And he came up to me multiple times, asked me about my mother. And I asked him repeatedly, and you can watch the TikTok video, to leave me alone, to go away. But he did not. And I reported that to you, all of you, as city council members. This man is a dangerous man. He is a threat to the community. The power that he is afforded in that chair as a city council member is being abused and used to intimidate those who would speak out about his abuses.
Your time is now complete. Would you like to translate it into Spanish?
Yes, I would.
Please proceed.
Okay. Para los miembros de esta comunidad, esta persona, el miembro de council, Lololi, me ha amenazado personalmente. Antes yo nunca le he conocido, yo no sabía quién era. Yo sabía que él tenía unos tratos con mi madre, políticas, porque ella estaba ayudando a los trabajadores. Y en un evento de negocios, él me gritó, me amenazó, me siguió, no me dejaba. Y yo reporté al cónsula, a todos. Les escribí, les expliqué lo que él estaba haciendo. Ese hombre ha tratado de hacer silencio a todas las personas que vienen contra él, que dicen la verdad. Usa su posición de cónsula para amenazar a las personas que quieren decir sus verdades de los maltratos que él hace. Y yo también fui maltratada por ese hombre, y yo entiendo lo miedo que tienen, pero no tener miedo contra ese hombre, porque entre nosotros vamos a hacer unidad y vamos a luchar y quitar ese hombre de esa posición. Yo les entiendo, yo les creo, y yo reporté todo al cónsula y ninguno de ellos hizo algo. Y ellos están responsables si él sigue con esos maltratos y use su posición de cónsula para amenazar la comunidad. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Mayor, I have no more speakers.
All right, thank you very much to the members of the public, the members of the council, the city staff. We are adjourned.
If I may say something real quick before I lose you guys, I know I might not have